With Colorado winning, Iowa State has to beat Missouri tomorrow to play in the Big 12 championship game. Right now, it's the second part of our doubleheader, also from the Big 12. Texas hosting Texas A&M. Gentlemen.
On second down and 6, Vince Young rolls out and throws, completes, and it's going to be a first down near midfield. So Texas on their opening march as we take a look at our FedEx starting lineups. They're moving well so far. Here's the big eaters. You know they did some turkey damage yesterday. Blaylock, Garcia, Glenn, Studdard, and Scott. The backs and receivers, Benson, number 2 in the country, and rushing behind Matthews as fullback. We've seen Thomas already catch a ball. Jeffrey and Swede, the wideouts. Tony Jeffrey becoming sort of the go-to guy as far as the wide receiver core. He had the winning touchdown catch last week in the late victory over Kansas. Benson is yet to touch it, and they're already at midfield. Let's see if Cedric gets the call here. He will on a draw. And A&M waiting for him. No gain on the play. We welcome those of you that were watching Colorado and Nebraska. I'm Brad Nessler with Bob Greasy and Lynn Swan. It's 5th-ranked Texas at home at Darrell K. Royal, Texas Memorial Stadium against the Aggies of Texas A&M. Number 19 in the country, 7-3 coming in. The Longhorns at 9-1 know that if they win this game and win impressively, it could impress the BCS people because they don't want to go another 10-win season like a year ago and not get in the big picture.
That could happen. It could very well happen, but there is a lot of football left to be played.
We'll develop that as we go. We're happy to have you along with us. A sellout crowd, penalty marker down with 13:28 remaining. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be back in Austin, Texas right after this. To the action, and Cedric Benson all wrapped up by A&M. That wrecking crew is waiting for him. Johnny Jolly, the first one there, along with Jason Jack, and then Foliaki from the linebacking core. So Texas had something moving early in this drive before that penalty, and now back-to-back carries by Cedric Benson, and they're going the wrong direction.
Yeah, A&M defensively, they have gone all year up against some of the best runners in the conference or in the nation, and they've shut them down. Adrian Peterson,
Morrissey, and those guys,
and some of the other ones have not got their average against this defense.
Third down at 16. Looks like an obvious passing situation. Young drops the snap. Now down the middle. The ball that should have been caught, incomplete. And the Aggies defense holds as Limas Swede had his hands on it and couldn't hold it.
Limas Swede is 6'5", so he's a tall drink of water. This ball kind of flutters, and as you see, he led him into the middle of the field where the free safety was. Should have caught it with his body and protected himself.
Richmond McGee will punt. Terrence Murphy and Eric Mays in a dual formation down near their own 25-yard line. It'll be Mays, and he mishandled it. Ball is loose.
That's the wind blowing. It's blowing really strong from our right to left.
A&M got back on top of it. Terrence Murphy, that's one good reason to have two guys back there to help out your partner.
He got that right. The punting is going to be difficult for the punter and for the punt returner. That ball just kind of stopped and ran away from him. And as you said, his partner back there got on it.
Bob and Brad, that wind is about a 10 to 15-yard wind. They tell a punter to line up 40 yards deep. These punters got a lot. The returners got to line up 10 yards short of that and be prepared to fair catch them when they've got the wind in their back.
That's a good call, Swan. If you didn't hear our weather at the beginning of the ball game, if you were watching the Nebraska-Colorado game, it's about 71 degrees and it's partly cloudy, but the wind is blowing at least 20 miles an hour. Here's the pass complete to Murphy. And Terrence Murphy does a nice job to get out near a first down for the Aggies of Texas A&M. On the throw from Reggie McNeil, the junior, out of Lufkin, Texas. And boy, is he a dual threat. The only guy in the country to be over 60 yards rushing and over 220 passing as a quarterback.
We mentioned he only has 2 interceptions.
He takes care of the football. So does this team. They only have 7 turnovers in 10 games for Dennis Franchione. And a first down on that opening play. Moves it out to the 39-yard line. Now it's Reggie out of the shotgun. And the pooch pass inside. And it was Terrence Murphy. As we take a look at the rest of the FedEx starting lineups for the Aggies of Texas A&M. And here's their big uns up front. Hangartner, De La Garza, Yoder, Elder, and Hightower. Hightower about 360. Lewis and Joseph in the backfield. Stutz and Thomas a couple of tight ends, and we'll see a lot of wide receivers. I know this isn't 11 guys, but trust me, Murphy, Carter, Taylor, and Hoagland, we have to do it that way. Because you're going to see all those guys in the first 2 or 3 snaps.
And 13 of those 14 we introduced are from Texas. A lot of players on these 2 sides, starters from Texas.
Second down and 9. McNeil comes up throwing, low pass, and they're going to say that he did catch it, I think. The officials talk and the umpire
looking for help.
Yeah, they're not getting help from anybody but the Longhorns. So right now they're going to finally put it down. They're going to say a completed pass across the 45 near the 46. And that'll draw the ire of the Longhorn faithful here. Let's take another look.
No.
Oh boy,
No.
that's a one-hopper.
No.
That's good if you're a third baseman. And now they just showed it on the Jumbotron here, and that's really going to get the crowd riled.
So the only guy that could have seen that ball was the umpire, because he was on the inside looking back out.
And he was blocked.
Yeah.
Yep. Third down and 4. Empty backfield now as Courtney Lewis goes out as an extra wide receiver. Might be a quarterback draw here. Nope. Going to throw it and complete it. And it's a first down. Irvin Taylor gets it across midfield. So on third down and short, they got 6. Defensively for the Longhorns up front, Robinson, Diddles, Rod Wright, and Tim Crowder. The linebackers, Swally talked about one of the best in the business in Johnson. Harrison Hall joined him. The secondary for the Longhorns with Griffin, Huff, Giger, and Brown back there.
Pretty good defense, too.
Yeah, it is. Under Greg Robinson, first year as co-defensive coordinator after coming over from the NFL. First and 10, Reggie McNeil, play action, fires out. Nice catch by Murphy. Caught it behind him and goes out right by the first down marker.
Murphy's a good receiver. He leads this team in receptions. He's got 43 coming in the top of the screen. He's got all kinds of yards. He just goes and runs it down and out. The wind is going to play havoc with that ball. Now the wind is at the quarterback's back, so it's moving the ball down the field.
Harder to throw with the wind or against it, Bob?
I think it's harder to throw with it.
Okay. First down at the 38-yard line. Draw play to Lewis. Trying to cut outside. Nice open field tackle by Brian Robinson, the defensive end. Texas A&M comes in with a number 17 passing attack in the country, and they put up 265 yards a game this year.
Yeah, that's second best all time at A&M.
And they've got it working here today. Talked about Terrence Murphy. He had a big game last year against Texas, 7 catches for 150 yards. He's already been on the receiving end twice.
Empty backfield here. Nobody back there except the quarterback. 5 receivers.
They're going to bring a little pressure on McNeil. He throws quickly, and it's in and out of the hands of Schrader, his intended receiver. We saw Schrader catch a touchdown pass in the Oklahoma game we did a couple of weeks ago.
And since then, he's thrown one.
Yes, he has. That's right.
He's a wide receiver, but four of these wide receivers have played quarterback in high school, so you talk about gimmicks and trick plays. Whenever they work at those in practice, they probably have to stay after because they got so many guys that can throw.
They're going to probably throw one here. Third down and 10. 8th play of the A&M drive. McNeil swings it out. Tough catch for Lewis. He made it, but he got tagged out of bounds well short of the first down. Got it down inside the 35-yard line. We'll bring up 4th down there as we check in with New York. Here's John.
Brad, time now for the Taco Bell update. Hakeem Hill on the 1-yard line in the Arizona State-Arizona game dances his way into the end zone. And that is the first score for them. 10-3 now at the end of 1 quarter. Brad.
All right, John, to you and the guys, happy day after Thanksgiving to you. 4th down and 7. Kind of Neverland here. Too far away for a field goal. They don't necessarily want to punt. And now a timeout taken by Texas. We'll take it with them. A 4th down and 7 coming up for the Aggies on this drive when we return. could be a symbol of things to come in this ball game. Pull out all the stops. 4th and 7, A&M. Here comes a blitz. McNeil throws incomplete. Texas will take over on downs.
Well, Brad, you hit it right on the head. It was too far for a field goal, even with the wind, and too short to punt, especially when you've got Texas going offensively the other way into the wind. Just a down and out. Griffin on the coverage just misses the throw. And when I say it's tougher to throw with the wind, you don't know how far the wind's going to carry the ball. Throwing into the wind, you can pretty much gauge it on the shorter throw. Now, if you're throwing deep, I'd rather have the wind in my... If I'm throwing 50, 60 yards, I want that wind in my back.
First down, Texas now just inside its own 35. No score here in the opening quarter. Out of the shotgun, Cedric Benson. Vince Young rides his stomach and then lets him have it, and he goes out to about the 38, a pickup of 3 against the FedEx starting front 4 like this. Mike Montgomery, the big guy there, with Jolly Bryant and Jack. Montgomery, one of the better players in the conference. Foliaki, McDaniel, and Green are the linebackers. And the secondary, Jones, Jafis Brown, Jackson Appel, the leader back there, and Jonte Buell. 2nd down and 7 for the Longhorns. Play action. Young with a man in his face. Got away. Fakes the throw and takes a pretty good tag from Foliaki out of bounds right at the first down marker. They might have to take a look at this one.
Vince Young does it so effortlessly. I mean, he just looks like oh, you're going to try and tackle me? I'm just going to give you a little move, and you're not going to get me because I want to throw the ball or I want to get around you. Just so effortlessly does he move, run, and throw.
A long strider. Mack Brown and his 22 seniors have won more games than any other 4-year group since freshman eligibility in '72. 41 wins these guys, these seniors have had, including 4 straight coming into this, or 3 straight in the case of the guys that have only been around 4 years, over Texas A&M. They're going to bring the chains from the far side. Cedric Benson is one of those seniors, a number 2 rusher in the country, and it's about that short. Mack in his 7th season here in Austin, his 20th season as a head coach. The good years at North Carolina before coming here, and 10-win seasons aren't always enough here.
Oh, boy. He's won 9 or 10 games every year he's been here. You go back and take a look at the coaches that were here before. They didn't come close to doing that.
So a 3rd down here and just about the length of the football. They've got to get just across the 45-yard line. And there you see where the snap will come and where our 1st and 10 line is. Virtually inseparable. And it's Vince Young and a quarterback keeper, and he's got the first down across the 45, and the Longhorns will keep the drive going. And the 111th battle between these two teams, and Mack talked with us about what it means to play A&M.
It's the way the Texas people have spent their Thanksgiving for 100 years, and this is just what they do. The ones that aren't in the stadium, there'll be 86,000 here. If they couldn't get in, they're watching it on TV.
There you go.
And that's what makes this so neat and so special.
And it's mostly burnt orange, but there's a dab or 2 of maroon in the corners. Benson trying to get ahead of steam. Finally does. Got about 5 very tough yards. Appel took him down. Cedric will go down as one of the all-time greats here. And, of course, there are a couple of Heisman Trophy guys that have played before him, and Earl Campbell and Ricky Williams. And Cedric emulating Ricky with the long hair, the dreadlocks.
Yeah, he idolizes Ricky Williams. He is in between those 2 guys you mentioned as far as total yardage in a career. Both of those guys have Heismans. Benson is hoping for one.
Mack Brown told Lynn and Bob and I this week, if Cedric has another big game, and he's averaging almost 160 yards a game, if he has another big game on national TV, we think he'll get an invitation to New York. Of course, Ricky Williams not playing right now. Ricky's probably watching this game somewhere out in California, pondering his NFL return. But Ricky was the all-time leader here, almost 6,300 yards. And Cedric and Earl And only Cedric without a Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, this is a big weekend for guys that want to showcase their skills. Benson, obviously, in this game. USC, Jason White is playing on Saturday night against...
Matt Leinart, you mean?
Matt Leinart, I'm sorry.
Jason's sitting home right now having some turkey. What are those guys talking about?
So I was thinking about he'll showcase his next week in the
Big 12
championship game.
We'll be there in Kansas City. We hope you join us for that one.
But Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush out there at USC, they'll be playing later on this weekend. Braylon Edwards, obvious Michigan is finished. Some of the other guys are finished.
Texas in A&M territory now. The first down at the 44. 6 straight running plays now by the Longhorns after they opened up with the pass. Young on the option, trying to find a place to hide, and goes down, and even with what looked like a broken play, he got 4 yards.
Yeah, and he didn't panic when he checked to the option, and then there wasn't anything there, and he wanted to come all the way back to the right side. There wasn't anything there either. He just said, all right, I'll just take it right up the middle and gain some yardage and not lose 4 or 5. I'll gain 2 or 3.
And he's 6'5". He can gain a couple of yards by falling down.
Yeah.
All running plays right now. 2nd down and 6. There's another run. Cedric Benson right in the middle of the heat. They're trying to rip the ball away from him. He got close to the 38-yard line. At the conclusion of our game today, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Darrell K. Royal, Texas Memorial Stadium, as Max said, if they're not here, you're watching it on TV. And they have won 28 of the last 29 ball games in this stadium. 3rd down and 4. Biggest 3rd down in the early going here for Texas.
Yeah, they're playing run.
Draw play to Benson. Didn't matter. He broke into the secondary. Benson inside the 20 and all the way down to the 16-yard line. A 22-yard romp by Cedric Benson, showing his power on that one. They had a hold of him, Grease. They just couldn't bring him down.
Could not bring him down. Take a look. It's going to be a draw play right in here. Watch the left guard that stuttered. Now right there he tries to break a tackle, breaks one, and then just carries the safety for another 10 yards.
Byron Jones looked like he was in a rodeo. Watch number 11 get on this bucking Bronco here at the end and say, whoa, baby, where's the saddle? First down at the 16. Benson again. Again he powers down 6 more yards to the 10. And Cedric's getting warmed up.
Bob and Brad, you talked about Cedric Benson. Yes, he is getting warmed up, Brad. You talked about Vince Young and their ability to run the football. Well, I think this is a statement drive for the for the Texas offensive line. What they're doing here, different from the first possession of this ball game, is they're letting their offensive line just blow that defense off the ball. They average more than 300 yards a game rushing the football. They said, bring your best, we're still going to run.
Here they come again. Benson again, and it looks like a first down run. Had to get inside the 7, and it looks like they're going to mark him at the 6. It'll be 1st and goal, Texas.
Well, you remember Texas came out throwing the football in the first couple of plays, and Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator, knew that the Aggies would be stacked up there, so now he's gotten back to the running game, which they do best.
Now let's see if they just keep it going the way it's been going. All the way down to the 6-yard line, 1st and goal. That's how far away from the end zone they are.
Because Texas wants to run the ball.
Taylor in there in the slot as a wide receiver. 1st and goal, Longhorns. The Aggies 6. Benson straight up the middle. Appel is holding on for dear life at about the 2-yard line. It'll be 2nd down. As Swanee said, they're just coming off the ball right now. And that's Scott and Studdard, Glenn, Allen, Blaylock.
Garcia is in for Allen. Allen is out with an injury. But this is what they want to do. This is the way they make their living. Texas offensively is run the football. They came in averaging over 300 yards on the ground.
2nd down and goal. Matthews, the fullback, in the eye. Benson, the tail, gets the call. This time they meet him head on, and he lost yardage. Chris Harrington was the first guy to meet him. So now the Aggies stiffen and force a 3rd and goal.
It's a good job by the defensive line of the Aggies, getting down low, not allowing any offensive penetration, but getting some penetration on the Texas side of the line of scrimmage.
Wide receiver. Cedric Benson, 63 rushing touchdowns. They bring in the extra tight end in Thomas. Let's see if they try to power it. If Vince Young is going to do something, he's going to call a timeout. That's what he'll do. And we'll take 1-2. 2:45 remaining first quarter. Longhorns looking for a score when we come back. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by the new Chevrolets. 10 new cars and trucks in 20 months. An American revolution. Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Be you. Nothing's better. Dr. Pepper. Konica Minolta, makers of BizHub. It's the hub of your business. And all states. Are you in good hands? Texas has had good hands getting it down to the 3-yard line where it's 3rd down and goal. Trying to break a scoreless tie at the Aggie 3. 2 tight ends, one of them in motion. And it's Vince Young on the option. He'll keep it and score. Touchdown, Texas. So Vince Young with his 10th rushing touchdown of the year. That's the versatility both he and Reggie McNeil can give you, Bob.
Well, that tells you something about this Texas offense, too, is that when it gets down to nut cutting and you need on the 3-yard line and you need a score, you're going to put it in the hands of Vince Young and run an option with your 2 best players.
4 for 4 on 3rd downs on that drive, and Vince Young, 2 of them were runs by him. And the extra point's no good. Dusty Mangum misses his first extra point of the year. But they do lead 6-0. 3-yard touchdown by Young. The Longhorns in front.
My baby.
It's never too late to get lost.
We gotta find out who did this to her.
Because this is only the beginning.
Ooh. What is it?
An all-new Lost. Wednesday, 8/7 Central. Only on ABC.
Interact on Enhanced TV now at ESPN.com. Texas leading after a 65-yard march, almost all of it on the ground. Vince Young did the last 3 for his 10th rushing touchdown of the year. The extra point was wide left. 6-0 Longhorns. Carter and Mobley are back deep. A short kick. Going to have to hustle just to get there. And they're only going to get about a 4-yard return, but they'll still have good field position because that kick into the wind was so short. 6-0 Longhorns in front here. Aggies, a first down run by Lewis. Derek Johnson knocked him out of bounds. Courtney Lewis, who had a 1,000-yard season last year, not quite as productive this season.
Take a look from behind the defense. Little option down the line. Texas shuts down Reggie McNeil, forces him to throw it out. That's what a defense wants to do. Keep forcing the ball to the sideline, and eventually the sideline will be a friend to you on defense.
McNeil, nice play fake. Pressured in the pocket, though. Now he finds himself some room. Got a block downfield, and he got a first down. Cedric Griffin knocked him out of bounds, but one of his wideouts down there to give him some help. And Reggie finds a first down marker. So this drive stays alive for A&M. Reggie McNeil came into this one with almost 700 yards rushing and averaging 69 a game. So you see he and Vince Young both in the top 6 in the country. the shotgun this time on first down. 4 wideouts for McNeil, and now they empty the backfield with Lewis in motion to the top of your screen. McNeil, plenty of time, running out of it. Now going deep's got a man open in the overshot.
Yeah.
Chad Schrader.
He had plenty of time, and Schrader finally broke clear. And I could tell just by the way he threw the ball with the wind that it was going to be way overthrown. It's tough when you throw with that strong of a wind. The middle receiver right here is going to go straight down the field, but it takes him a little while to get past him. Now he's wide open. It's just the wind just carries it too far.
So second down and 10 at the 45. Keith Joseph now is the single setback. Joey Thomas, the tight end, in motion this time. McNeil steps up and gets hit in the backfield. A 3-yard loss. Larry Dibbles coming around Hightower created the havoc in the Aggie backfield.
You just can't expect to have that much time all the time. He had it the time before, but you just can't. Let's go ahead and run and take a look at this from the end zone. Got good protection, good protection. Now you got to get rid of it. You just can't expect good protection. 4, 5, 6 seconds every play.
Now it's a 3rd and long. You can tell by the noise, the Longhorns faithful, causing some problems, and the clock expires.
Delay a game.
Delay of game on the offense. 5 yards, still 3rd down.
So now it's even worse.
Well, when you're on the road, you have to deal with more things as a quarterback than you do at home, obviously, and one of them is the noise. You've got to find out where the 25-second clock is. The coaches, everybody is affected by the noise and being away from home.
So now 3rd down and 18. There aren't too many in the playbook for 3rd and 18.
And you can't check off at the line of scrimmage because you can't be sure that everybody's going to hear you.
Texas might bring the heat. Nope, they back out of it. McNeil has a lot of time again and throws complete. Well, there are some 3rd and 18s in the book.
That's a 3rd and 18 play. First of all, you start with 6 seconds protection, and then you make a great throw over a defensive back.
And you find Latydrick Riley.
Looks to his left, slides around, throws it over Huff, the strong safety, and Riley makes the play for a 1st down.
You got to expect that Texas wishes they would have brought the pressure now. Because they only brought a 3-man rush and they paid the price. 1st down at the 42. And the whistle stop play here with 58 seconds remaining in the quarter.
Timeout. Texas. Final timeout.
Final timeout of the half already by the Longhorns. While we've got a timeout, let's check in with John Saunders in New York. John.
Right here with the AIG update. Arizona State. Richard Kovalchek is back to pass. Tosses this one deep to Steve Fleming, who's open, stays on his feet, gets him 54 yards for the touchdown. And now we are all tied at 10 apiece. Brad, back to you.
All right, John, here it's 6-0 Texas. Reggie McNeil having a good ball game so far. We saw him a couple of weeks ago. The first 3 or 4 series against Oklahoma, he was sensational. We talked to Dennis Franchione about what makes him so special.
And so all those put together make him a very difficult quarterback to defend completely.
Probably a guy that'll be in the early Heisman picture when next year starts, when he's a senior.
Good point. And you mentioned, Dennis mentioned the offensive line when he started that time. I think got 2 really good tackles.
McNeil, late pitch and a dangerous one, but he got away with it. I mean, Texas was close to picking that pitch off and going the other way for a touchdown.
That tells you that he is very aware of everything that's going on this field. Because this is not your regular option. He's going to wait.
Right over the top of Eric Hall.
Right here, he recognizes what the problem is and fakes it a little bit and waits till you get past him and then pitches it. That's That's not your normal fake or a normal option.
That's a highlight option right there.
Yeah.
Second down on the yard. They got 9. Play action. Might want it all here. Throwing long. Got a man open. Got him. Touchdown. Daquan Mobley. And the Aggies have tied it up. A 33-yard touchdown pass. And now an opportunity to take the lead because of that missed extra point. So Reggie throws his 12th touchdown pass of the season. He stretched his wide receiver out, but Mobley went up there and made an acrobatic catch at the goal line. Todd Pegram in for the extra point. And it's blocked. Texas has it. Chance to try to go for 2 the other way. Breaking tackle, still on his feet as Huff finally goes down at the 27-yard line. We're still tied at 6.
What's going to happen next? we miss a field goal to the left. We get 1 block. Extra point.
He's missed 4 coming into this game. He's flying over the top. Was that Johnson?
He hasn't missed the field goal, but he's missed 4 extra points.
Derek Johnson's the guy that blocked it. The guy Swanee talked about in the Open, the finalist for the Butkus Award, wearing number 60 today in honor of Tommy Nobis. And Nobis would be proud about that play. He came flying over the top.
Take a look. Take a look. The guy in motion is going to come down. That's Mobley, and then he's going to get to the center of the field. But the key to this, watch the time, the protection that he's going to have. Time. Now look. See what he sees? That's what he sees, and he says, just let me get this ball to about the goal line. He almost threw it over. The wind almost carried him too far. But make no mistake, the protection that he has, that offensive line is what gave him the time to throw that one.
Johnson, the guy that blocked the extra point, so it's 6-6.
Texas A&M.
Lane Newman.
And Brown back for Texas.
Set to kick. Brown and Taylor wait on it for the Longhorns. The last time Newman kicked with the wind, he blasted it out of the end zone. This one's going to be shorter. High kick. Still going to carry almost to the goal line to the 2 to Taylor. Lamont Taylor, maybe the best speed on this Texas team, but he's not going to get to use it here as he gets out short of the 20 out to the 18-yard line. This weekend, join us for an ABC Sports Thanksgiving weekend tradition. Tiger Woods, Annika Sorenstam, Fred Couples, and rising star Adam Scott tee off at the Merrill Lynch Skins game. Coverage starts tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. Then it concludes Sunday, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, right here on ABC Sports.
That's always fun to watch. Thanksgiving Day weekend.
Bevo looking on as Horns and the Aggies tied at 6 as Texas takes over its own 18-yard line. Cedric Benson and Vince Young did almost all the work on their last drive, the one that carried them to a touchdown. Same story here. Bad pitch. Benson fumbles. It wasn't his fault. He got back on top of it. Just wasn't a good pitch. Loss of about 8.
Well, what it was a fake up the middle. Watch as he's going to fake it to Matthews right there and then toss it. And the toss was not good at all.
That puts Texas in a spot of 2nd down and 19.
They're going to let the clock run out, go down to the other end, and get the wind at their backs.
So the first quarter in the 111th meeting of these two teams, dead even. Each have scored a touchdown, 1 extra point missed, and 1 was blocked. 6-6 at the end of 1 in Austin. Our presentation of college football continues after this message and a word from our ABC stations. You're watching ABC Sports, home of the Bowl Championship Series. Those 6 flags down there tell the story. Spain, France, and Mexico on the right, all once the domain of Texas. And the Confederate flag, the Lone Star flag, and the Stars and Stripes on the right end zone, showing that wind being a factor. Texas going with it now. but only got out to about the 12-yard line. Jory Adams made the stop on Myron Hardy. And Texas is going to find itself in a 3rd down and a mile situation for Vince Young and company.
It's a nice play by Adams, redshirt freshman defensive end, to get back out in there. It was like a roll away and then a throwback screen, and Adams recognized it and got out there and made the play.
Tony Jeffrey hasn't caught a pass yet today. He's Vince Young's favorite receiver when he needs long yardage, or he might look for one of those tight ends. 3rd and 16. A&M's going to bring pressure off the corner. Young's in trouble and somehow got out of it. Now looking for some help. Got a block. Not quite. Got across the 20 to the 22. I thought he was going to get a first down out of that.
He had a long way to go for a first down, but like you say, if he would have made that last guy miss, he may have gotten there.
I don't even know how he got out of the pocket here.
Well, they came from the outside, and that's what messed up the protection. If he makes this guy miss, he can pick it up. And nice tackle.
Figures it'd be a Pell. He makes a lot of them. Eric Mays waits on the punt from Richmond McGee. Low snap. McGee handles it and gets a beautiful kick. High spiral back. Chasing Mays, who gives some ground. Now gains some ground. Got a big block and then got level. Brother, 54-yard punt. A 4-yard return that he'll remember for a while after that hit. 13:27 remaining in the half. Tied at 6 here in Austin. The 19th ranked Aggies here in Austin tied with number 5 Texas. The Longhorns would love to somehow impress the BCS people a little bit more, because last year and this year, a possibility of winning 10 games and being shut out of the BCS. We're going to talk more about the BCS picture, and we're going to do so with one of the undefeated coaches in the country, Urban Meyer, right after this snap, as A&M starts now from its own 27-yard line. Reggie McNeil in the shotgun. And he's going to throw it out. Complete to Terrence Murphy, and Murphy run out of bounds as he got to about the 31-yard line. One team that's season is perfect and over at 11-0. The Utes of Utah. Urban Meyer, the head coach, is along with us from his home today. And, Coach, we want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving, or day after. And I know you're home with your family, but I'm sure there's been a lot of football work done this week, even though your season's over.
Well, we have a lot of work because we don't know where we're going. And it's an exciting time here in Salt Lake because the possibilities are still out there and a lot of people are talking about it.
After this snap, we're going to talk to you about the possibilities. At the 31. McNeil on a straight keeper here, and Reggie's going to lose a yard. Coach, it appears right now with you in the 6th spot that the BCS system, I would imagine you think it's working pretty well. It looks like you're going to be the first team to crash the party.
Well, I think there's a lot of positives that came out of this year, and I think across the country, the awareness that there are good football teams in the so-called BCS conferences, and I think we hope to represent the non-BCS conferences very well this year.
And we saw there the celebration after the season-clinching victory over BYU, and the party that ensued. Here's McNeil throwing, got it out complete, and a first down at the 40.
Coach, there's a lot of concern down here in Texas and in California that should Texas lose and Boise State might move up from 7 to 6, that 2 non-BCS conference teams would make it, and that would mean Cal, if they went out, would not make it. They'd be ranked 4th in the country, wouldn't make it. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think Cal's a great football team, and I certainly think they deserve, if their only loss when they outplayed USC, and I was able to watch that game, if that's their only loss, I think Cal should be in the BCS. But once again, I think, all this is speculative. There's only one way to do it, let the teams play each other.
No doubt. Amen to that. McNeil looking for a receiver. Reggie found himself some room, found himself a receiver. Schrader's got it. And stepped out of bounds, but he's got another first down.
Coach Meyer, this is Lynn Swan. In this season, with the BCS and the way they rank teams and the computers and the coaches poll and the writers poll, talk to me a little bit about style points. In your mind, when you go out and play football, do you have to win a certain way?
I hate to say that. I believe you have to, and we certainly did not take advantage of opponents. A lot of times our ones were out of the game in the 4th quarter. you never hear about college basketball coaches trying to run up the score. So if that is true, which I believe it is, I think that's one of the flaws of the current system.
It's never perfect, Coach, and they continue to work on it. And sometimes when you try to fix the flaws, you fix it too far in the wrong direction, and you end up with more problems than you had to start with. We're going to let you get ready and go with your family, but I'd be remiss, Coach, if I didn't ask you about your future. There's been a lot of speculation that once you coach in the bowl game, maybe you go somewhere else. You want to comment or not?
Well, I'd rather not comment. I do want to say that I love Salt Lake City, and this has been a memorable season, and I plan on being a coach here at Utah.
Well, you've done a great job. Congratulations, Coach, wherever you play, whomever you play. Great job this year. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, Coach.
Urban Meyer, head coach at Utah, undefeated at 11-0, and number 6 in the BCS. And the thing that we're talking about, and I think most college football fans realize this, is that Urban's name has come up in a lot of spots because he's a hot commodity, and also the president at the University of Florida is the guy that was at Utah and hired him there. So there's been speculation with Ron Zook's departure that Urban would be a possibility to go down to Gainesville. So we just wanted to clear that one up, and I didn't think Coach would want to talk about it, but we had to ask.
Yeah. He's a good guy. He has done a great job out there at Utah.
7th play of the Aggie drive. 2nd down and 10. Trying to take the lead on the Longhorns on their home ranch. Here's a swing pass out to Murphy. He had a blocker in front of him. It's incomplete, though. And it'll bring up 3rd down. Lynn?
Oh, Bob Brad, I just want to make this one comment about Urban Meyer and the Florida situation. And a lot of people are speculating about what he might do. But every time I talk to an assistant coach or a coach anywhere, they say, well, if he goes, whatever bowl game he goes to, why wouldn't he take that job at Florida? He went from one school to Utah. He's looking at maybe to be a head coach at a major program. If they offered him the job, why wouldn't he take it? So most people believe if they offer him the job, he's gone.
We've got a timeout, and we're going to talk with some other undefeated coaches before our day is done, including Coach Tuberville and Coach Stoops. Right now, we're tied at 6 in Austin. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Aflac, ask about it at work. And Sears, what are you wishing for? You'll find it here. Sears, good life, great price. Great day in Austin. Kind of windy, though, in the state capitol, as the Longhorns and the Aggies are tied at 6. Aggies trying to change it here.
I was just going to say, hadn't affected Reggie McNeil. 4 for 4 on 3rd down passing, and he's thrown to 4 different players.
This one he'll have to earn. 3rd down, a full 10. Need to get down to the 11-yard line for a 1st down. And he's trying to be heard right now, and the Longhorn fans are not making it easy. Throws out. Flags are down. In fact, they'll blow this one dead.
Texas was after it, got a little pressure on him, and I think one of the offensive linemen moved early.
Might have been Jamie Hightower on the tackle. Here's a call.
Prior to the snap, there was a false start by the offense. The penalty is 5 yards, and it's still 3rd down.
So now 3rd down and 15.
Take a look right here, the left tackle. That's Hightower. Watch him move just a tad.
And when Jamie moves, the whole stadium shakes. They list him at 355. I'm not sure. And I don't mean that to think that Jamie is smaller than that. I think he might be a little bit bigger than that.
But listen, those 2 tackles, Hightower and Hangartner, have done a great job protecting McNeil so far today.
Now Reggie will work from the shotgun. McNeil pump fakes one way, streaks it down inside the 15, but short of the 1st down as he got it complete to Irvin Taylor. What it does set up, though, is the ball inside the 15-yard line, which should be a chip shot for Todd Pegram, who hasn't missed a field goal since last year. Only problem is he got an extra point blocked earlier.
Yeah, he liked to kick field goals much more than extra points.
Yes, for sure. He's hit 16 straight field goals going back to last season. Chad Schrader will hold it. It'll be a 32-yard field goal attempt to try to give the Aggies the lead. Pegram into the wind from 32. And the kick on the way, and he missed it. So much for streaks. You got to go back to last year. The last time Todd Pegram, he was a sophomore at the time. And you know what? It was the same distance, only it was a different hash mark. There's something about 32 he doesn't like.
Well, and kicking into this win, both kickers, one an extra point and then one try for a field goal, have missed the left.
Bob and Brad doing pregame warm-up as we watch the missed field goal attempt here. When I watched both teams warm up at this end zone, at this goal post, I must have seen 1 out of every 6 go through the uprights.
It's not very good. So a 32-yard miss, still 6-6. Vince Young, play action. Throws long, got a man across the 35. It's his tight end, Bo Scaife, one of the seniors. In fact, Bo's gone through a couple of senior days. He's in his 6th year.
He's a 6th-year senior. Had a couple knee surgeries. Here he is. A wide receiver's just going to clear it out, and he's just going to run a little out route. First down call, first down pass, and this is big because you can't always run the ball on first down like Texas does.
You know, Texas uses their tight ends sort of like the Falcons use Algie Crumpler and sort of like Gates in San Diego with Drew Brees. They really get them out in the patterns out there. They're a big part of their passing game.
Well, it's because the tight ends can run. No, if you're going to throw to these tight ends, they got to be able to run. Tight ends used to be a combination of offensive line and wide receiver.
So a first down with a penalty tacked on out to the 50-yard line. Lamont Taylor goes in motion. They're going to try to swing it to him, and he overshot him. And Vince Young, after the throw, paid a heavy price as well. Let's check in with John in New York.
LSU trying to polish off this season against Arkansas, defending champs, at least half of them. Marcus Randall calls his own number, goes across, steps in, touchdown, 7 yards on the run. And this is a blowout, 34-14, LSU with the lead. Brad.
Arkansas, one of those teams that people were saying if they beat LSU, they'd be bowl eligible. There aren't enough teams to go around right now, folks, for the bowls, if you can believe that. They need a couple more winners this weekend.
That's true.
Second down from midfield. Straight drop by Young. Down the middle. Would have been a tough catch intended for Limas Swede, and it's incomplete. And that ball sailed a little bit, it looked like, on Vince Young as well. Talking about the bowl picture, Texas would like to be in the BCS. Possibility that Texas A&M could be headed to either the Cotton Bowl or the Holiday Bowl, but hoping to go bowling. I think you can cross Arkansas off right now. Northwestern's going to play Hawaii. South Florida, TCU. Hawaii would have to beat Northwestern and Michigan State. I don't know if they can do that or not.
You have to have a winning record, 6-5 generally, to go at least to go to a bowl game.
Those are the teams that some bowl people are hoping to win ball games this weekend. Young slips a little bit in the pocket and now fumbles the ball. Who's on top of it? I think Texas got it back. Sedlon, I think, is the guy at the bottom of the pile. And it is. So it's still going to force a punting situation. Jason Jack's the guy that knocked it away from Vince Young from behind.
Fourth down, 35.
Richmond McGee now to come into punt.
Just going to say, Brad, when the quarterbacks start scrambling, moving around in the pocket, they've got to secure the ball. Make sure they don't get it hit from behind.
Whoa, high snap. Oh, man, did he hit that. He hit it too far with the wind.
Got to turn to the side and kicked it.
Thought he was going to try to angle it out of bounds. He almost missed the end zone. He hit it so far. 9:07 left first half. We're still tied at 6. The eyes of Texas shining through Darrell K. Royal, Texas Memorial Stadium. Everybody watching this one. Everybody waits for this one. They've been doing it 111 times, dating back to the 1800s. Tie game, first down A&M. Play action. McNeil now has a lot of green in front of it. Reggie gets across the 30 and finds a place to land with a first down as he got 12 yards on the scramble. Derek Johnson made the stop. Spotlight on the junior, the pride of Lufkin, Texas. A 6'2", 206-pounder. Reggie McNeil is fast. He showed it there. He's a dual threat. He can run or throw by ground or air, I guess that is. And he's mature. I don't know if he's that old, but he is mature beyond his years, I think.
He's a good leader, and you have to be mature to be a leader.
He's really come a long way as a quarterback for this team. Play action, fires, and one hopped it to an open receiver. So that time he didn't get enough on it. Mobley was the intended receiver. With that last run of 11 yards, Reggie has moved to the number 2 spot behind only Bucky Richardson in most rushing yards by a quarterback. And of course, he's got all next season to try to get up to that 2,000 mark. And at the rate he's going, over 700 yards coming into this game, he's got a definite shot at it. Second down and 10. Aggies at their own 32. McNeil drops back. Now flushed from the pocket. Got away somehow. There showed you a lot of the things we showed you in the spotlight.
Yeah. I mean, Texas had the right defense. They had him contained, and he still gave ground and got around containment.
Going to see his scrambling ability.
And then, guys, after the end of this run, instead of facing 3rd and 10, because of his mobility, now he looks at 3rd and 6.
Yep.
The Texas players did a nice job of not pushing him or hitting him when he's out of bounds. A lot of times when you run after an elusive guy that long and you get close to him, you kind of bang him or push him when he gets out of bounds.
On 3rd and 6, he fires incomplete. Intended for Carter. And Derek Johnson put the hammer on Carter as he was trying to find the handle. So it's a 4th down.
Well, that's the first time that the Texas defense has gotten them off the field in 3 plays.
I'm going to say a punting situation, but I don't trust Francione. I'm just going to say it's 4th down. He got me too many times in the Oklahoma game.
Well, there are 4 plays. I'm sorry, it was 4 plays, not 3. But you know they've got some gimmick plays in. They work on them all the time.
That's why I'm just going to say it's 4th and 6. We've seen Jacob Young throw before, the punter number 30 to the left of your screen. And he'll kick it, and he almost had it blocked.
There's a flag. They got him.
So they're maybe going to get their first down out of it anyway, without trying anything fancy. Personal foul. It's a first down.
Well, there's 2 different types of running into the kicker. One is a 5-yard, and the other is a personal foul, and this is 15, which means a first down.
Mack is pleading the case that it was running into the kicker.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker on number 8 of the defense.
Cedric Griffin.
15 yards, automatic first down.
What a big play.
Take a look.
Here comes Griffin right. Well, I think he tried to get out of the way. His own man kind of rolled him into the punter.
Yeah,
you got to look out for the punter because you could break something there.
I think you err on the side of caution and taking care of anybody that's standing there on one leg.
So it's a first down at the 49 by penalty.
But the key is you got to be consistent with that call, though. You got to make it the same way all the time.
Aggies back in Texas territory, be it only by a yard. McNeil, the pitch. Now they're back in their own territory. Phil Geiger came up along with Johnson and company in a loss on the play.
The Texas defense is getting tougher. They've stopped them. Like I said, they made them punt, but then it was like a turnover. When you rough the punter and give them another try, then you got to stop them again. Greg Robinson there sending in the signals.
Second down at 14. Geiger, one of the senior captains on that defense, along with Derek Johnson. There he is, normally number 11. As we told you, wearing number 60 in honor of Tommy Nobis. Here's play action by McNeil. The ball fluttered out. Somebody must have got a hand on that one. Might have been Rod Wright. That ball never had a chance.
Yeah, that looked like a duck flying into the wind.
We got plenty of wind. I don't know about ducks. There aren't a lot of turkeys around today either. Not many left. McNeil's 13 out of 20 throwing the football. And he's got a 3rd and long here. They need to get down to the 39-yard line for a first down. So Reggie will send everybody out. 4 wide outs. Texas is going to bring the pressure this time. And it's going to pay off, maybe not. McNeil somehow escaped again. Now running for his life. And incomplete. So the initial pressure didn't get him, but the secondary pressure did.
He's just so elusive. They almost catch him on the initial rush. Coming around this side, they almost get him coming around. He gets away from that.
That was Crowder. He shed him.
Now he just gives ground. He's got the speed to give ground. Just get rid of him.
Another punting situation. Nice kick. Hangs up. See what kind of bounce it takes. An Aggie roll, big time. Wow, this one's going to come all the way down near the 11-yard line. Great punt, 42 yards into the wind, and buries Texas offense again at its own 11-yard line. Time now for our Aflac trivia question for the week. Texas has had 3 players selected #1 overall in the NFL draft. Who was the first? It's a good question. We'll give you the answer a little bit later on. So the Longhorn offense actually waiting for the Aggie defense right now. Saying, fellas, we're ready. Come on out here. And now they line up inside their own 11-yard line. Quick pass. Complete to Tony Jeffrey. Well, Jeffrey got about 9 out to the 20. Tony a little bit slow getting up. Of course, the great wide receivers that they had in the Chris Sims days, as you were talking about. You talk about Roy Williams and Sloan Thomas and B.J. Johnson, all those guys. So Tony was in that same recruiting group, only he redshirted, so he's the only guy left.
Yeah, he's a 5th-year senior. All the other ones have graduated. Some of them are in the NFL. The system now is a lot different than when Jeffrey came in as a freshman.
And Texas gets a first down on the ground with Cedric Benson. Got about 3. We're down under 6.5 minutes in a 6-6 tie here in Texas.
Talking to Mac Brown the other day, he was telling us this is the best offensive line that he's had in the last 5 years. And it's a good time to have it because you've got good running backs. You got a quarterback that a lot of defensive coordinators will tell you, we got to worry about Benson, then we got to worry about that other running back.
Number 10.
Yeah, number 10.
This time it's number 32. Banging his way across the 25 for 4 more yards is Cedric Benson. Cedric Benson's done a lot of his work, boy, in between the tackles today, I'll tell you that much. Not that he can't run outside, but they've just stuck it in there. Like Swanee said in that second drive of the ball game, it seemed like they said, okay, we're going to send you a message right now.
I think the reason,
here we come, stop us.
Yeah, I think the reason is because the A&M defense has so much speed, they run well left to right.
Here's a play fake by Young, going to throw the short pass to his tight end, Scaife. And Bo got away from one guy, got a first down. So that's the second time the senior out of Denver, Bo Scaife, has gotten a first down on a pass. As we mentioned, Bo got a 6th year of eligibility due to those 2 knee injuries that Bob talked about.
Yeah, number 80 right there. He came into the ball game today with 68 receptions on his career. 5 touchdowns. He's already caught 2 or 3 passes here today.
Yep, he's got a couple big ones. And that one got him a first down again at the 35-yard line. Young, the long count. Benson, maybe 2 more. Not much. That whole Aggie front wall collapsed on him in a hurry. And we're down to 5.5 minutes. Remember, Texas does not have any timeouts remaining. Here's what we were talking about with Cedric Benson. I didn't even realize it was that many. They're all up in there.
Everything's inside, nothing outside. I've seen these charts a lot. I've never seen a chart like that one, where everything was one way and nothing to the outside.
Second down along 7. See if Texas puts this one in the air. There's the play fake, the bootleg, the throw, complete to Matthews, a fullback. First down at midfield. Will Matthews, another one of the captains, another senior out of right here in Austin. And he picks up 13 yards and a first down. That's only the 7th ball Will's caught this year.
Yeah, here's Matthews here. He's going to come out. The play fake goes this way, and the linebackers will be held. Now he slides out. Look how wide open he is.
Bob, I love that play.
He's right here.
It seems to be just a nice variation on what they just did to the tight end.
Yep.
Nice, safe pass, and you pick up the yards after the catch.
How about a career long catch for Will, too? Now Benson cuts it outside the hash marks, and he's got a first down and 13 more. Well, they must have read our graphic.
Yeah.
Time to take it a little bit more outside.
He still started inside and then bounced it out, though.
Cedric Benson, a senior out of Midland, Texas, 6-footer, 225. And you can see there's similarities with his hero, Ricky Williams, who played here and won a Heisman here. Although Ricky's got a haircut since last we saw him. He has a beard now, though.
There's all those leaves coming across the screen.
It's fall. It's autumn. It's Thanksgiving. We got guys raking down at the trucks. That's where all those leaves are coming. Cedric even gets up slow like Ricky used to.
Yeah, yeah.
Walks back to the huddle slowly like he used to, the whole thing.
But that offensive line, Scott, Studdard at the left guard, Glenn and Senline. Allen's not in there today. Garcia is there, and Blaylock at the right tackle. They've sent some guys to the NFL out of that offensive line in the past.
Ninth play of the drive on 2nd and 6. Again, it's a bootleg. Young throws it, and incomplete. Nice play on the ball by Eric Mays. I think the fans here think he got there early. Tony Jeffrey was the intended receiver.
That was good coverage by Mays. That was a similar play to what he's been throwing on the way down the field. One to the tight end, one to the fullback Matthews. That time neither one were open, and he had to throw it to the deeper man, who was a wide receiver, and Mays is the guy that cut in front of him.
3rd down now and 6.
36.
3 wideouts. Tony Jeffrey is in the slot as Vince Young has a look.
Look out now, you got everybody up there.
And Vince Young will run it on a quarterback draw. And he's cut down before he could get to the 30. And who else? Jackson Appel. Boy, that kid can tackle.
You talk about a guy that is a sure tackler, and it seems like he's been at A&M forever. We've been doing A&M off and on for 4 or 5 years, and it seems like he's been in every one of them.
Came in with 272 career tackles, had 135 last year, including 11 against the Longhorns.
Yeah, he's the free safety and the leading tackler on the team.
He's got 7 more of those today to add to that 68, and we're not even at halftime. Big play here. 4th and 4 for Texas. Aggies went on 4th down, didn't get it. Texas will try the same. Cedric Benson stopped, and now pulls his way for a first down.
That may be his best play of the day. Right there. Depending on what happens in this drive, if they convert it, but he was well behind the first down, caught it, turned, and just said, I'm not going to be denied. I'm coming up.
Archie McDaniel made that hit. He kept his hand on the ground and then took 4 Aggies with him. That's tough. Showing his stuff, Cedric Benson. At the 25, first down, he gets the carry here. And he backs his way for about 4 more yards. He's still not down. Finally goes down. Boy, it's been some tough running. We mentioned when Cedric goes over 100, Texas has never lost. When Texas has outrushed its opponent, Mac Brown's Longhorns have never lost.
And Cedric has today 74.
The only time he came up short this year was 92 against Oklahoma, and they lost their only setback of the year. I'm sure Coach Stoops and his staff are watching this one. Bob will join us in the second half. Matthews, the fullback, inside the 20. Mike Montgomery holding on for dear life. And we're down to 1:43 and the clock running. Remember, Texas used all its timeouts earlier. So they've got to be cognizant of that and at least aware of it because they're inside the red zone now.
They need to be concerned because they don't have any timeouts, and they're not a passing team. They're a running team.
In a picture-perfect world, I'm sure they're thinking, okay, let's use as much clock as we can and get a touchdown and go to the locker room, but they got to be careful.
I'd like to have had a timeout here to talk something over, but
3rd down and 4.
Wide receivers are single covered.
14th play of the Longhorn drive. Quarterback draw again. Vince Young. Vince Young inside the 5. He almost scored. And now maybe the clock isn't such a factor.
Initially, when he got the ball to run the quarterback draw, there wasn't anything there, so he just kind of hung around and delayed it. Watch this. Go ahead and run it. Nothing right there. He just waits, and something opens up. Tremendous patience, Vince Young.
That was like gliding up to a red light and it turned green all of a sudden. 1st and goal at the 4. Cedric Benson puts his head down and gets to about the 1.
Now you got to get up there and run a play.
Yeah, you do.
You got to hurry up. You got to line up and run another one.
Benson has 18 rushing touchdowns. Mac Brown's trying to tell his team, get him up, hurry up. We're under a half minute. 2nd down and goal. Vince Young lost the ball. A&M's got it. And they're going the other way. Jonte Buell is going to score a touchdown. This will go 99 or 100 yards. Oh, what a play by the Aggies. What a mistake by Vince Young.
Number 26, Jonte Buell on the fumble return for the touchdown.
The one thing you can't do right there just backfired in the face of the Longhorns. I think it was Justin Warren, the middle linebacker, who made the hit on Vince Young.
See, I don't agree with what Vince was doing, and I don't agree sticking the ball up. Watch this. He tries to stick the ball over. And the danger of that is just what happened. If you don't get it over, or the officials don't see that it's over, and you get it knocked loose, it could go the other way, and it did. A huge turnaround.
And hits the point after this time. You talk about a 14-point swing in a ball game. You just saw one. The Aggies lead late in the 2nd quarter.
Here's today's Biz Hub fan scan, brought to you by Konica Minolta.
Vince Young is thinking about the Dodge defensive playbook right there, I think, Bob.
Well, on the goal line, you want to get defense, you want to get penetration. Watch the inside guys right here in the middle, the nose tackle and the 2 tackle. Watch the penetration, get off the ball. Look at the penetration he gets. And that's why Vince Young doesn't get over. There's the ball. The linebacker, Warren, knocks loose, but it's the defensive lineman getting low and quick off the ball that doesn't allow the offensive lineman to get any movement for Vince Young to get it in there.
Jonte Buell still breathing heavy. Why not? It was officially 98 yards returned on the fumble recovery for the Aggie touchdown.
It's more than that. It's psychological.
Yeah, that's for sure. And now the kick is deep to the 1-yard line to Taylor. Taylor goes down at the 11-yard line with only 5 seconds left.
Now, Mac's got a major job to turn these guys around now. They're all down. You can just see them because you're going in to score, and the other team gets 7 points and you don't off of a they should have downed the ball. It was a first down. There was 2nd down play. Why don't they just down the ball, huddle up, get a good play, go for it on 3rd down, and then on 4th down you can run another quick play.
Even though this is a very different score, they found themselves in the Oklahoma State game thinking, what are we going to do at halftime? And they roared back to win that, but they're going to have to do the same type of thing here today as Cedric Benson will get a carry and add to his total. Broke a tackle. Well, wait a minute. It's not over yet. Cedric Benson out to the 40. That was more than just a half-ending play. He almost got in the secondary and found a way to get out of there. He got 27 yards.
This is the 3rd straight game that Texas has been behind at halftime. And like you said, Oklahoma State, they were down 28 points.
Yep. So the Aggies on the road have a lead. And Lynn Swan's with the leading coach. Swanee?
Coach Fran, first on the offense. Tough ball game. How do you squeeze a little more offense out of your unit against Texas defense?
Well, we knew they were going to be tough defensively. We've just got to keep mixing it up on them. We got to execute a little better in the running game, block them a little better, which is a challenge, and throw and catch it as good as we can.
Tell me what you were thinking on the play, the turnover. Looks like Texas is going to go in for a touchdown. They're going to try, and he goes up, and you get the fumble.
Well, I was just hoping we could make them snap it again because they were about to run out of time, and I didn't know if they would get another play off, and hopefully we were going to leave them on the 1-yard line. It was a bonus to go 99.
All right, Coach, we'll see you in the second half.
Thank you.
Hey, Bob and Brad, you know, turnovers are always critical in these big ball games, and a disciplined Texas A&M ball club is sitting on top right now.
Boy, a 14-point swing in the last 11 seconds of the half. Let's go to John, Craig, and Aaron in our New York studios. Halftime here, 13-6. Fellas.
Brad, thanks a lot. So the importance of this game for Texas, obvious, because they're trying to sew up a BCS berth. But the guys out there at Boise State right now are saying, we like this score.
And we get deep into that here in just a little bit. But when you talk about the way that's half ended right there, Vincent Young, why not spike the ball? It's second down, huddle up, have your composure. But it looked like the whole group over there on their sidelines was a little confused, Mack Brown included in that scenario.
But a perfect thing, though, to happen, if it's going to happen before halftime, you can go in, you can talk about it. Texas is still very much in this ball game. The last 2 weeks, Oklahoma State and Kansas, they've had big come-from-behind victories. It's going to be the team that makes the least mistakes is going to walk out there victorious.
Especially the way the Longhorns' offensive line's dominating
They're blowing them up.
A huge mistake has already been made. We'll see if that stays up. When we come back with scores and highlights and a little on Boise State after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Expedition, Explore, Sport Track, and Freestar. Plus, with every purchase, get 2 season passes good at 4 Northwest resorts. For the Maximus savings on the newest November favorites, hurry to your Northwest Sports Store.
For local news, Kathy Gertson, Como 4 News.
This is the Capital One halftime show. And yes, Aaron Taylor aspires to be amongst that group, not for the obvious reasons, but because he always wanted to be a cheerleader. John Saunders, Craig James, and Aaron Taylor. We might actually get you out to do something like that.
We may have to.
You seem like a talented athlete. All right, LSU facing Arkansas. LSU started the year with high hopes, thinking they had a shot at a second straight national championship. That came unraveled early, but they've been on a roll since. Marcus Randall to Joseph Adai. The second touchdown for Adai, 17-7. Now, Arkansas's Matt Jones trying to lead him back, find Steve Harris.
I think this is Matt Jones' 15th year at Arkansas playing quarterback, but he's been a nemesis to LSU in the past, and again with a pass right here for the touchdown.
And Marcus Randall for LSU has been terrific.
Marcus Randall's really come on as of late. That was one of the problems that LSU had beginning of the year when people were writing them off, so they didn't have quarterback play. Marcus Randall seems to be rectifying that.
He stays up and steps up in the pocket, sees he can run, and takes it in with a little flip right there. Randall, 2 touchdowns on the ground and 2 touchdown passes. LSU 34-14 to score there. Arizona facing Arizona State. This game has a lot of meaning in the state of Arizona, so don't go by the records of these teams. Richard Kovalchek, 54 yards to Steve Fleming.
Big fella down the field for the touchdown. You know, how about Mike Stoops and good job he's doing to getting this team competitive at the end?
That's one thing I've really noticed about this Wildcat team. They come to play and compete.
Kovalchek this time gets sacked and fumbles the ball. It's recovered by Jimmy Verdon, who takes it and runs for the touchdown. 17-3 now. Arizona State's lead is shrinking. Kovalchek again, 2 yards to Mike Jefferson.
Well, you can say what you want to, but the Wildcats have done a great job staying in this game. ASU's only losses were to Cal and USC, and they absolutely beat down the Big Ten co-champ Iowa. For Arizona to be in this game and to be up at this point, I think that's Mike Stoops making a difference already.
Getting his defense going. When he gets the offense next year, it'll be a complete team. Colorado and Nebraska. Joel Klatt, 6 yards to Blake Mackey. Just stays in bounds with the tiptoes. Joe Daly, it's been a tough year for him, and this just about sums it up. Terrence Wheatley comes up with the interception as the ball is overthrown. And then it's really the defense that didn't show up.
Let me sum it up for you. Nebraska's bad. Their defense doesn't fly around like they used to. They just don't play the game like they used to. I guarantee you this team has athletes on it, and Nebraska's not playing. This game wasn't this close. They had a chance at the end, but Colorado dominated this game.
Nebraska's first losing season since 1961. The question is, can Bill Callahan get it done? Everybody talks about that West Coast offense. Who cares what the offense is? Can he get it done, get back to championship?
Yes, and I think it all starts with attitude, man. Nebraska's got football players. They may not have the players that Texas or Oklahoma has or A&M right now, but what they have is players over there who just don't seem like they understand what's going on. They're not playing with intensity and flying to the football.
Yeah, Callahan's a good coach, and I think he's going to do a good job with this team, but something he's got to do, he's got to go out and recruit players, but he's got to get the players to believe into his system. Guys, that's such an important part of coaching is getting the players to believe.
Yeah. All right, one of the things that makes this so great is the fact that we have some of the best announcers at ABC, but they have to be unbiased, unlike the radio play-by-play guys. So we picked some of our favorites from this year.
Here's the ball game. 34-33, A&M in overtime. Bears going for two. Three receivers left, two right. John Bell has the snap. Looking. No! Touchdown! Bears win! Bears win over A&M! Oh, baby! They have knocked off the Aggies for the first time since 1985.
He'll roll to the right and hit this punt from the 15-yard line, and it'll wobble and be fielded by Ted Ginn. 40, 50-yard line, middle of the field. To the 40, Ted Ginn, wide to the right. Ginn to the 30, Ginn to the 20. Count him off, baby. He's in the house again. Ted Ginn with his second touchdown in minutes. He ran through Michigan State like Mexican water through a first-time tourist.
Matt Payne will try 37-yarder. Hasn't missed all year. Here's the snap. It's good. The kick is up. It's long. It is good. No, it's no good. He missed it. It's off to the left. He missed it. Matt Payne misses with 19 seconds left, and Boise State shockingly still has the lead.
Better hurry up. 4 seconds to get the snap away. Blitz coming again. Monet steps back, looking downfield, throwing. He wants Bennett. He's got Bennett! Oh, my God! What a grab! A.J. Bennett at Eastern Michigan celebrates.
You know, I didn't appreciate them showing Western Michigan getting off with one of those, but still, that's a lot of fun because the announcers get so fired up.
You know, sometimes we got to remind Aaron over here not to be a homer on some of these things. All that Irish stuff you start throwing out there. How about those calls, though? That was some pretty impressive.
The last time I saw somebody get that excited was Craig when they had free Kogies in the background.
What's a Kogie?
A hoagie. Oh, he didn't know what Twizzlers were. I like Twizzlers.
You guys,
I love when my jokes go bad.
You want to talk about big plays? This one you want to hear in the radio call as well. Texas A&M leads the Longhorns by a touchdown. Our Thanksgiving weekend of college football continues tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Check local listings for the game available in your area. Then in prime time at 8 o'clock, Notre Dame facing the #1 team in the nation, USC. The Capital One halftime show, John Saunders, Craig James, and Aaron Taylor. This one should be easy to call, the #1 team in the nation, but Notre Dame has been schizophrenic this year.
You never know about the Irish.
No,
when they're playing against USC, as you well know, my friend, I stood in the tunnel one time, John, and I'm sitting there watching USC walk on the field, big, muscular guys. I see the Irish walk out, look kind of small, and the Irish went out and smacked the Trojans. You can't guarantee that the Trojans walk away with this one.
Well, Notre Dame knows how big this game is, and they're going to come out definitely ready to play. One of the things that Notre Dame has struggled with this year, talking about being schizophrenic, has been their defense. Their defensive back has struggled. That can be a problem if you got Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, and all those good receivers over there. They're talking about Steve Smith maybe playing in this game. So Notre Dame, they're going to have to get creative and find ways to get some pressure on Matt Leinart, maybe cause him to throw some passes, because that's one area that they've struggled throughout the year.
Gambling too much against Matt Leinart's dangerous.
They got their hands full.
USC did not get to play in the national championship game last year, even though they shared in it. They know that they will be in this ball game in the FedEx Orange Bowl if they win against Notre Dame and UCLA. However, there are plenty more possibilities out there, and you can start off in the Big East, where probably a team doesn't even deserve to be in the BCS, but it'll be Boston College or Pitt.
Oh, they deserve Boston College more than, say, a Utah or perhaps Boise State.
Right.
I mean, what happens if Boise State were to win out, which they've done now? They've got one more to go. But if Texas were to lose, all of a sudden Boise State jumps up to number 6 in the polls. They're guaranteed in. Cal would be on the out. then you've got a problem.
Then you got a problem. It seems like every year, guys, we're talking about a team having a gripe, and this year would be Cal. Kansas State in the past has had gripes. This is the problem with the BCS, and depending on which side of the fence you're sitting on, it's either a blessing or a curse, but each year something's always changing, going back and forth. There's never a scenario where all the bases are covered. There's always some little caveat in there.
All right, let's show everyone what we're talking about right now. If you look at the top 10 standings in the BCS, Louisville is in there. Boy, if they'd have knocked off Miami, they'd be unbeaten as well. But the numbers at 4, 5, 6, and 7. If you end up with Boise State and Utah in there,
I mean, what kind of bowl game is that going to be? I mean, the BCS has a problem, no question about it. I know they can't really predict every scenario that might happen out there, but you can't have 2 mid-majors playing on BCS championship weeks. There's no way.
The only consistency with the BCS is money, boys.
That's all they want.
Money that may be distributed places it has not gone before. We will find out in the next week or so. This is the Capital One Halftime Show. John Saunders, Craig James, and Aaron Taylor. Second half still coming up tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We have 3 games. Check the local listings for the game available. Virginia Tech. If Tech wins that, then beats Miami on the final week, they will have the ACC crown. In the Big East, Boston College has their own fate.
And they'll have to do it without Paul Peterson, their quarterback, who's got a busted hand. So Matt Ryan, a freshman quarterback, will play out here. He's got great talent, and so we'll find out whether he can get them to the promised land of $14 million.
How about the Big 12 North, guys? If Iowa State wins this one, they are in the big game, baby. They started out 0-3 in their division. They've won 4 straight, and they're doing with their defense, only giving up less than 3.5 yards a game on the ground.
And you also predicted they'd beat Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship.
That was my prediction.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's a good move by Rook.
Do we have any? I mean, every year it seems like we have something that gums up the works at the end of the season, like Oklahoma losing the Big 12 championship game, then going on to the championship. Do you think that there's anything like that out there?
Let me tell you what, these next 30 minutes of football here, watching Texas A&M and Texas, this is where we're going to find some real gum. This could really mess things up. If the Longhorns can't go out and be effective on offense and run the football, A&M's got momentum.
I home team, Irish over at SC tomorrow.
Boise's at home waiting right now. Back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
You're watching college football on ABC Sports Championship Television.
You wonder the psychology of that young man, what's going through his mind right now. 13-6, just about set to start the third quarter. Vince Young trailing Reggie McNeil's Texas A&M Aggies 13-6. Welcome back to Austin, everybody. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Lynn Swan is down on the field. Partner, just when you think you see everything, you see a play like that, you wonder if it could change the whole ballgame.
Well, Mac Brown's got to, first of all, correct their heads before he goes out and plays physically. And I think he's done that because they've done that the past couple of games they've played. They were down 28 points to Oklahoma State,
right.
Came back and won. They were down 10 or 14 points to Kansas and came back and won. So they've been in this position before and recently as the last 2 games they've played. But Vince Young's got to come back and play well, and he's done that in those last 2 ball games.
I'm sure he'll lead on Cedric Benson, too. Cedric had over 100 yards rushing in the first half. So the statistic we gave you earlier about Cedric, when he goes over the century mark, they win. That one's in jeopardy right now. Remember, Dennis Franchioni's Aggies will get the football first to start the third quarter. And you would think that, as it is in most ball games, the opening stanza of the third quarter is so vital. And Texas cannot afford to let Texas A&M get any kind of points to start the third, or they're really going to have some long faces. The kick goes out of the end zone, and A&M will work from the 20 as we get out of Swanee.
Brad, thank you. When I talked to Mac Brown, he was very calm, and he made the point to his team in the locker room that we had the ball. We were driving down the field, he said. We were set to score. We had a turnover. Unfortunate set of events. But in Texas, when we play at home, he said, we have to dominate. He said, in the third quarter, this football team, Texas, has been able to dominate its opponent. If we come out in the second half and play our kind of football, we will win this ball game. And you see there, 92 points they've scored against opponents in the third quarter.
They've won 19 straight Big 12 home games, 28 of the last 29 on their home field. It's in danger, but we got a lot of football left. First down, Aggies. Reggie McNeil, draw play, Courtney Lewis. Got a yard, maybe 2, as we take a look at our Pacific Life Games summary statistically in the first half. The rushing yardage huge in Texas' favor.
I think the time of possession, look at the time of possession, that's just Texas's way. They take a lot of time on their drives. The one turnover, obviously, with the story of the game and the end of the half, Buell going 99 yards, but that's in the past now. It's, you know, you're still only down by 7 points. It was a tough thing mentally, but you've got to get on.
And they back the pass of McNeil's down. And it's Tim Crowder, the big defensive end, a sophomore out of Tyler, Texas.
And for A&M and for Reggie McNeil, you got to realize is we're ahead, but we didn't put those points up there.
Right.
The offense didn't.
Yep.
So we still need to go out and do something. They've had the ball 4 possessions in the first half, 2 with the win and 2 against the win. They've had 2 punts, a touchdown, and 1 missed field goal.
The whole sideline of Texas up now on a 3rd down and 8. McNeil, heavy pressure, throws a slip screen. This one's not going to get it done. Terrence Thomas got about 5, but it's 4th and 2. So Texas defense did its job.
Swanee, you may know this. It doesn't seem that the wind is as strong as it was the first half.
Well, right now, when you look up at the flags in the right part of the end zone, it looks about the same. Down here on the field, it feels entirely different. Right now, it feels calm.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's as strong.
They come after the punter, and they get this one. Michael Griffin blocked the punt. Texas, touchdown. The Griffin boys, one blocks it, one scores it. We're a point away from being tied again. Remember, they almost got to the punter earlier and roughed him. This time, Michael Griffin blocked it. Cedric Griffin carried it. Touchdown, Texas. Well, I think the game just turned right back around.
Well, and you know, you got to give credit to Mac Brown. I mean, he talked to his kids. He calmed them down. The defense was up first. They held them in 3 plays, and then the special team blocked it, and now we're back even.
And the extra point. Rolling around in the end zone. What kind of kicking game have we had? Only 1 successful place kick in the whole ball game. 2 missed extra points. 1 was blocked, and we're not quite even. 13-12. Boy, we've had some unspecial teams today. I'll tell you that much. Here's another look. Nordgren is the holder. He can't find the handle.
He never even held it. He didn't. That's not on the kicker.
No, it's not on the kicker.
That's the holder.
Remember, this is the block punt. Watch number 27 come flying around. Almost took it right off his foot.
That's the same scenario, the same 3 guys that roughed the punter a little earlier.
Well, Bob and Brad, let me give you another little thing to throw into this mix. All right? That guy holding for the punter or for the extra point was
fumbled into the end zone and recovered there by A&M. It's a 1-point safety.
And there's a safety now.
Is a what?
Wait a minute.
He said it's a 1-point safety?
Again, we're showing you the block punt. The official just gave the strangest call I think I've ever heard. The ball was recovered in the end zone by A&M after the kick attempts. Now, that ball was kicked. Whether it was held or not, it was kicked, was it not? And that's an unsuccessful kick. That ball's dead.
Yeah. Hey, listen, guys, I pride myself on knowing the rules. I don't know this one. I'll admit it.
Guys, and I don't know that. Anyway, let me just throw this in for you.
Let's listen one more time. I think he's going to tell us something else here. I don't mean to interrupt you, Swanee. I got a feeling Cooper Castleberry.
It was 14-12. Now it's 13-13. They gave the point to the wrong team.
Well, guys, let me just throw this out to you real quick. The normal holder in this situation is Tony Jeffries. On the last series at the end of the first half, he was injured. He injured his ribs. He is out for the rest of the game. So they had a backup holder in there.
Well, right now the score is 13-13, and I don't know why.
Yeah, you know,
On the kick return, Mobley trying to get outside and doesn't quite get to the 20-yard line. Very close to it.
So here's what happened.
Go ahead. It's all yours.
Texas A&M was ahead 13-12 after the touchdown. Now they lined up for an extra point. They try the extra point, and they miss it. A&M recovers it in the end zone. Watch this. They fumble the extra point.
Okay, he kicked the ball.
He kicked the ball into the end zone, and A&M jumps on it. And they give Texas 1 point. A 1-point safety. I mean, I've been doing this a long time, and I pride myself in knowing most of the rules, but I don't know that one.
I have never heard of this. I'm sorry. I'd love to clear it up, and I hope we can.
Well, the bottom line is that they have given Texas 1 point. They've given Texas 1 point after the kick went into the end zone, and A&M fell on it.
So, Bob and Brad, I talked to an official on the sideline. He said he called this particular play 1 time in his entire career. The ball was advanced forward. A&M took possession of the football. Because they took possession of the football, Bob, even after the kick, they took possession. Then they fumbled it, recovered it, downed it in the end zone. Well, it's a 1-point play.
How is that any different than if he would have punted it into the end zone and fell on it in the end zone?
Because it's a different rule regarding punts versus an extra point or a conversion.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, that kick was kicked, and it hit the back of one of the linemen, and the ball's dead right there.
Yeah, it hit somebody.
But
and went into the end zone.
Hey,
but
I'm not officiating. So.
Well, Coach Fran is not reacting like he's not heard of it before. I mean, it looks like they explained it to him well enough where he's satisfied with it.
Well, I wish they'd come up here then.
Now, let me say this about the whole thing. It's early enough in the game.
It may not matter.
That everybody can react and recover from it. It's not the last play of the game.
3rd down and 10. McNeil trying to run out of trouble. Reggie's drawing a lot of burnt orange. He might have the 1st down. Heck of a scramble again. Crowder made the stop. And now it looks like the spot's going to be good enough for a 1st down.
The pressure just flushed out of the pocket. Let me say this, Brad, and what's been going on the last couple of weeks. This is a rivalry game. These teams have been known to be heated at each other. I just saw one of the offensive linemen help the defensive lineman up. That's good sportsmanship.
Yeah. 1st down on the scramble by Reggie McNeil. Now Reggie on the option will pitch it. And Lewis got a tough 2 or 3. Huff and Crowder made the stop. Well, Mac Brown, I think, said it as well as anybody when you and I and Lynn talked to him this week. He said, you know, when we play Oklahoma, that's an angry border war. This one's a bunch of kids that know each other, and they played against each other in high school, and they look forward to it every year.
Yeah.
And that's what it's been today.
Yeah.
And the Sooners, of course, are waiting to see who they'll play in the Big 12 championship next Saturday night in Kansas City. As Colorado is a winner today, and that puts the pressure on Dan McCarney's Iowa State team to win tomorrow against Missouri. McNeil wanted to pitch it, never got a chance. Michael Huff stopped him and dropped him for a loss of 1. So brings up another 2nd down and long.
Here's Derek Johnson. We haven't seen much of him today. Let's watch as this play goes to the right side. Fakes the pitch. There's Johnson right there getting a piece of it.
3rd and long. I beg your pardon. I may have said 2nd. 3rd down and 9. Another big play for the Texas defense. The last punt they forced, they blocked and scored on. They'd like to force another one. McNeil, heavy pressure. Again, the ball is hit on takeoff. And a flag flies in late from the secondary. I thought the ball was tipped, and that would negate any kind of pass interference. But you know what? I'm not going to get in with the officials here. I'm going to let them officiate.
There may be a little celebration by Texas.
The pass was tipped. Therefore, there's no foul.
The ball knocked down by Derek Johnson. So he's blocked
a
kick today.
Yeah.
Blocked that pass and forces a punt. The last one was blocked, remember, and Jacob Young is warming up that leg. He'd like to get it a little speedier this time.
Yeah, they blocked it from this side the last time.
They're coming again. High snap. And he was thinking about getting rid of it. What he did
straight up the chute
was straight up in the air. It does get a bounce in A&M's favor, but a very short punt. Only 26 yards. So Texas in great field position and now in much better position on the scoreboard. Somehow, folks, it's 13-13. Don't ask me why.
On a
13-13, third quarter, 11-16. Swanee, did you just talk to our referee?
Brad, I did. Cooper Castleberry, I talked to him. I said, I've never heard of a one-point conversion. I said, can you explain it to me? He said, anything that would have been a safety in normal play, if it occurs on a conversion, it's 1 point. A&M recovered it, tried to advance it. They lost it, recovered it in the end zone. It's a safety. On the conversion, it's 1 point.
Thanks, Lynn.
I'm still confused.
The problem I have with it, and this is the last time I'm going to say anything about it, that football was kicked. It made contact at the line of scrimmage with either the offensive or defensive lines. Play is dead. I don't care if it rolls all the way to College Station.
Well, wait now. If you try a kick, and like Lynn said, it goes and a defensive man, a receiving team, tries to pick it up and run with it, and then fumbles it, and then falls on it again. Maybe I can see that, but I don't know why 1 point. Maybe it's because it's a 1 point try. Ooh, let's stop talking about it.
Yeah, forget it. It's 13-13 with 10 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. Vital game for both teams. Obviously for Texas, the ramifications are involved with the BCS. For Texas A&M, not only a rival that they haven't beaten in 4 years, but if they get their 8th win, either the Holiday Bowl or the Cotton Bowl have been mentioned as possibilities.
Yeah. And Texas needs to win just to keep their hopes alive. And they're really on the outside looking in right now.
Yep.
They need some help from one of the other teams ahead of them to lose.
Third and short, Cedric Benson bulls his way for a first down. To the 47 of the Aggies. Byron Jones brought him down, but he's got another first down. So Cedric having another great day. Of course, that one run at the end of the second quarter sort of padded him statistically. He got 27 yards, but he's got 109 on the day. He just keeps bulling for yardage. Not much of it has been fancy. It's been behind his guards, between the tackles, straight up the middle. Now first down on the option. Vince Young. And Vince keeps it, and he's going to be close to a first down. Archie McDaniel made the stop. Looks like he's just a little bit short.
This is the Horns' first possession of the second half. They had 5 possessions in the first half, and 2 of those 5 possessions, one of them was 14 plays and a touchdown. The other was 16 plays, and they didn't get the touchdown. That's the one they had the fumble that went all the other way for a touchdown. So they're used to having the ball, eating up the clock, time of possession.
Now the fullback straight ahead. First down and quite a bit more for Will Matthews. They're getting Will involved today. Caught a pass earlier for a career-high 13 yards, and now he blasts his way for a first down. 260-pound senior co-captain moves the sticks. Texas did just what actually has accomplished more than they had hoped for early in this third quarter. They not only got a stop, they got a block kick. They tied the game, they got the ball back, and now they're driving into Aggie land again.
And they got a touchdown out of that block kick off their special teams that tied the game.
Benson tried to bounce it outside, but just couldn't quite keep his footing. Bryant and Jolly, the defensive tackles inside, hit him low and knocked him off his pins. Tomorrow, join ABC Sports for more outstanding regional action. Virginia, Virginia Tech, Syracuse, Boston College, and Missouri and Iowa State. That one's got Big 12 title implications. Of course, the #1 team in the country, USC, is assured of being in the BCS by either being a Pac-10 champion or going to the Orange Bowl.
Let me tell you something, partner. Somebody's going to lose. I don't know who it is, whether it's #1 team, #2 team, #3 team. Somebody's there aren't going to be 3 guys undefeated. I would tell you that.
Seems to happen, doesn't it? Every year. And of course, we've had great moments in that USC Notre Dame rivalry. Let's go back. Keith Jackson's call in 74.
McLaughlin knocks it high and deep. And Davis 2 yards deep in the end zone will bring it back. The wedge gets him to the 20. He breaks it at the 25. He's long gone at the 40. It's now a foot race, and here goes Anthony Davis for 102 yards and a touchdown.
One of the magical moments in that long rivalry. 7 rushes again for Texas on this drive. 3rd down. Young, the safety valve out there is Benson trying to break tackles, and does, but not enough for the first down.
He broke 3 tackles. He was out there, and 3 guys had a shot at him, and all 3 missed.
Looks like a field goal try. 74 had a lot of special moments. Of course, Bob just a youth in those days.
Just a pup.
And away from
Sears is having a holiday sale of Golden Comfort shirts. Save on classic look shirts like Bob Greasy's ombre stripe, fashionable
Nice
lighter
tie,
solids, or dressy scatter prints.
Yeah, you look good,
Save on
dude.
neckwear too. These stretch woven Dacron polyester and cotton shirts are Sears best. Regularly $9 and $10.
I don't think Bob's got any
now $6.97
shirts anymore. From 74.
What was that?
44-yard field goal attempt is up and good.
What was that last thing I just saw?
I don't know. It's the holiday season.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
There's a lot of stuff going on here. Texas has the lead, though, with 6:36 to go. You got any of those $7 shirts?
I do.
ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Pontiac and the first ever G6, the next official performance machine of the NCAA. Allstate, a proud sponsor of the Bowl Championship Series. Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. BU, nothing's better. And ESPN 2K5 video games. This season, score big with the entire line. Yeah, the line of Texas moved them down into Dusty Mangum. Field goal range. Dusty hit it from 44. We finally have a good-looking kick there, and Texas now leads it 16-13. The kickoff goes to the 1 to Carter. Carter got out to about the 20-yard line. Well, we've had a lot of things going on. How'd you like to be Carter trying to return that kick when that cannon went off right behind it? Texas has had 3 #1 overall NFL draft choices. Who was the first? That's our Aflac trivia question. You guys want to take a crack at this? I don't hear anything from either one of you.
I haven't had time to even think about it.
Neither am I, but since I'm here and I talked to a friend of Earl Campbell's. I'll just say it was Earl.
I think Earl Campbell, too.
I'll say Tommy Novus was not only a #1 pick, but was a #1 pick ever of a franchise, the Atlanta Falcons. That's my guess. Derek Johnson wearing Tommy's number today. First down, A&M. Reggie McNeil fires out in the flat. Oh, what a pass. Nice touch.
What a great throw.
Out to the 40, almost the 41-yard line. Picked up 19 yards.
Into some wind, too. That out over a defender, that was a great throw.
Well, let's get our Aflac answer. And it is. Look at him. Tommy Novus, selected #1 by the Falcons. Two-time All-American here in Texas. About a 6- or 7-time All-Pro in Atlanta. And in the old days, it was 3 guys that I'm sure you didn't want to look at, Breeze. Nitschke, Butkus, and Novus.
Well, you got that right. We didn't play Novus that much, but he was in Atlanta, and we didn't play Atlanta.
McNeil, play fake. Fires, completes, and it's down to about the 42-yard line. Another first down, a strike of 17 yards.
And this offense is coming back of A&M.
The Aflac scoreboard as we head into the stretch run. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, we got to start giving some bonuses over here on these two. And giving some harder questions to.
We only have 1 more game, and then it's a national championship game.
Now you guys are going to want 2 points for the Big 12 and 3 points for the Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
I can see all that coming already. First down here. Aggies have something working offensively. McNeil in trouble. I mean, a lot of trouble. Somehow got away from it. And down to the sideline he goes, and out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. Derek Johnson, number 60, normally number 11. We talked with him about wearing that magical number.
Talking to Tommy Nobis about 2 or 3 weeks ago, him explaining to me how great it is to have your jersey not retired. I mean, that's really special to me to see somebody else's jersey out there that should have been retired, and for me to go out there and wear it and him see it on TV or whatever brings back a lot of memories.
I know Tommy and Lynn are watching this game back in Atlanta and enjoying what Texas is doing. They stop McNeil. Terrell Brown this time.
Yeah, he could have done some things, but all of his receivers were over to the left side of the field, and he got himself over to the right side, and there was no place to throw the ball.
Finishing up with Tommy. I talked to Tommy about a half an hour this week, longtime friend of mine, and he was talking about Derek Johnson wearing that jersey, and he said he's just not a BS guy. He said, I love the kid. I love the way he plays. He's got a level head. He says he's going to be a top 5 pick probably in the NFL draft, and he's one of the finalists for that trophy you just saw down in the corner of the end zone, the Butkus Award. Third down and long. McNeil. Flags are down, and the hit put on by Griffin on Keith Joseph, but again a penalty marker on the play.
Looks like it'll be on the Aggies for some kind of movement.
They didn't have the Butkus Award, obviously, when Tommy played here, but he won the Outland and the Maxwell Trophy in 1965.
Now, he was a heck of a player.
You know, Derek Johnson last year was a finalist for the Butkus Award, and he was the first Texas football player ever to be nominated for that honor. He's a finalist again this year, and folks around here figure he's the favorite.
Well,
there's the 3 guys up for the Butkus.
Yeah, and all worthy candidates, but I just think Derek Johnson, we've seen him over the years.
An illegal shift on the offense, number 81. The end never got set. The penalty is declined. It's 4th down.
I just think that you're looking at Derek Johnson. He's one of those guys that just can't miss at the next level.
He's a playmaker, and, you know, he runs about a 4.4, and Tommy Nova said to me the other day, said, Brad, when we played, I thought about Bob Hayes being a 4.4 guy, not a linebacker.
Yeah, he's 6'4" and 235 and runs like that.
4th down. And timeout's going to be taken here by the Aggies. They're going to talk it over. A very important play coming up with 4 minutes, 48 seconds remaining, 3rd quarter. Longhorns in front by a field goal. Today's a huge play after the timeout coming up for the Aggies. 4th down and 5. Trailing by 3.
Well, if you're going to try and pull the defense off with your cadence, you don't do it from a shotgun. You do it from up behind the center, so that's not going to happen.
Both wideouts to the near side, and the man in motion will go that way as well. That's where Reggie McNeil rolls to throw. Here come the Longhorns, and they've got him. Down he goes. Second time today, the Longhorns will take over on downs. Robinson and Dibbles from the defensive line trap him, and the Longhorns will take over on offense, leading by a field goal.
Nice controlled defense. Don't try to take his head off. Just get everybody over there. They probably knew he was going to roll out. All the defensive guys are rolling that way. Now just don't take his head off. Just contain. Now gang tackling, because he's too good for one guy to bring him down.
So now Texas takes over with the lead and with the number 2 running back in the country. Yards-wise, that is maybe the best there is. Although there's a coach waiting on the line that might argue with us. Lamont Taylor wants to throw. They have it covered. He's going to throw it anyway. Dangerous, almost picked off. No, Ramon said, I'm going to throw this thing. That's what coach told me to do, and there's a flag down. We might have roughing the passer, even though it's not a quarterback.
And you can't have roughing the passer, but it can be a personal foul.
We'll wait the call. There's more than one flag on the field as well. Chris Harrington, I think, is the guy that hit Taylor And Vermont's still wanted that play to work. He took a pretty good lick. Cooper Castleberry, our referee, will straighten it out for us. And with what we've seen today, I'm going to listen very carefully.
There's Taylor outside the pocket. He's a running back, Taylor is.
Oh, yeah. Well, if that's not the penalty, I don't know where it is.
That's one of them.
That's at least one of them.
Boys, the second flag was thrown in well after the play was completed, and after the first flag obviously was thrown down and we thought there was one, then one came flying in afterwards.
Ineligible receiver apparently is the other one against Texas.
Roughing the passer on number 92 of the defense. An ineligible downfield, number 52 of the offense. The penalty's offset. Replay the down.
There goes 5 minutes of our life we'll never get back. We talked with one undefeated coach earlier in the ball game, Urban Meyer of Utah. We've got another on the line right now from the SEC. A perfect record for the Auburn Tigers. Tommy Tuberville's along with us. And Coach, first of all, happy day after Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Same to you. It's been a great year for us, and looking forward to next week.
What kind of off time did you give your team, Coach, heading into now the SEC title game next week?
Well, we played our in-state rival Alabama last week in the Iron Bowl, won that game, and you always need to take a few days off after that. We started practice back today. The day after Thanksgiving, we'll go the rest of the weekend, and we'll have enough time to practice for next week's game. And you can practice too much for a game like this coming up, and we want to make sure our guys are healthy and ready to go and fired up about playing.
We just saw your team celebrating. You got a double dose of cold liquid down your back of your neck as you beat Alabama in that Iron Bowl you were talking about. And it was a tough ball game. It always is. Something that we asked Urban Meyer earlier in the ball game about, do you have to win now, even though the margin of victory has been taken out of things? Do you have to win with style points? Were you worried that wasn't a good enough win?
I think you probably do with people that don't watch your game. For instance, us on the East Coast and the writers and the coaches on the West Coast. I think probably they just look at scores and don't really understand the significance of the game or watch the game how it was played. But unfortunately, I think you probably have to do. But last year they said that they were going to take out the runaway scores and make those not accountable. But probably if you look at some scores this year, they probably looked at that as they voted.
Benson on the pitch from Young, and Cedric gets about 9 more. I was talking about Cadillac Williams and Ronnie Brown when I said Coach would probably argue about what a great back this is. Bob?
Tommy, I seem to remember last year Auburn on the cover of Sports Illustrated ranked #1. Didn't make it last year. What was different this year than last year? How are things different?
Well, we've got better team chemistry. We had a great football team last year. We played some good teams also. We played a very tough non-conference schedule. Our non-conference schedule this year wasn't quite as tough, but we played LSU on the road. We played Georgia on the road. This year we played both those teams at home, which really helps in this league to play your tougher teams at home. And but again, we've played better on both sides of the ball. Offense and defense this year is much more balanced. Our guys are making plays week in and week out. Our average score of winning in the SEC this year has been 18 points or better. So we've got a good football team, and we've played like it. That's what I'm excited about. We've played like it each week. We haven't really had a bad game.
Coach Tuberville, your team is ranked #3 in the BCS. Some arguments around the country that maybe you should be better. How do you feel about the BCS in the system?
Well, you just never know. You know there's going to be a year where you have eventually 3 or 4, maybe 5 teams that are undefeated, and you're going to have a problem with this system. But we always go by it, and it's the best way we have right now to pick a national champion. Without having a playoff system, and probably this is going to, I heard y'all say earlier, probably somebody's going to lose, but if that doesn't happen, you're going to have enough argument from a lot of people to say, hey, we need to have a playoff, and there'll be an uproar about it, and probably down the road have one.
The teams that you've beaten, you mentioned them, Tommy, beating LSU, a close game, beating a great Georgia team and a Tennessee team, and now you've got Tennessee in the SEC championship again, and I know that everybody always says it's so tough to beat somebody twice in 1 year.
Yeah, it really is, and of course we'll get their best shot. You never know how each team prepared going into a game, whether you win or lost. But we know this time both teams will be prepared fully. They know what we'll do, and we know what they'll do. It's kind of matching wits. Our players are excited about it. I'm sure Tennessee is. It'll be a great football game.
Last thing, Coach, before we let you go, Bob kind of touched on it. Last year you were ranked high in the preseason rankings. This year you weren't. Is it fair that the USC and Oklahoma 1 and 2 and have pretty much stayed that way? You had to come from so far back.
Well, that's probably right. That's probably the reason we're number 3. A lot of people are probably voting USC and Oklahoma, rightly so, because they got good football teams, but they started there. We've worked our way up, and we're kind of like the odd man out. Hopefully we'll start the polls in the future, very near future, probably somewhere around October the 1st, because you really don't know what kind of teams you're going to have chemistry-wise or teamwork-wise going into the season until about midway.
Coach, we'll let you go. Enjoy the rest of the ball game. Good luck in Atlanta next weekend, and congratulations on a great regular season.
Thank you very much. Y'all have a good day.
Okay, Tommy Tuberville, head coach of the Auburn Tigers, and the folks down in the Plains are yelling "War Damn Eagle." Yeah. They want Auburn in the national championship.
Good coach, good football coach.
First down and 20 here. No change of score yet. Texas trying to do that. Vince Young is going to be a quarterback draw. Now it's a quarterback sweep. And Vince got inside the 40, down to about the 39-yard line. And we're down to 2:45 remaining in the third quarter. 16-13 Texas. Some strange plays. Blocked extra points. Missed extra points. Blocked punts. You name it. We've had a little bit of all of it in the 111th matchup between the Aggies and the Longhorns, the third longest rivalry in Division I-A college football. Second down and 13. Young pooch pass inside to Benson. Cedric got back to the original line of scrimmage and maybe a little bit more, and it'll bring up third down at about 10. Coming up Monday night, don't forget, should be a good one. Alan John will be at Lambeau Field, where Brett Favre and the Packers are looking for their 6th straight win. They'll take on the Rams. It's Monday Night Football, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, right here on ABC Sports. And who is more fun to watch than this guy? I don't know. There aren't many. Brett Favre having a great year, keeping his team paced with the Vikings in the NFC North. And look at those career numbers.
Yeah, I think the biggest number of all is that 200 starts.
Well, I guess. Young lost one just over Lima Swede. Swede had a little pocket back there, but Young got too much air under it. Newton and Bullitt were back there defending.
Swede is the big target, the 6'5" target. He just let that one go a little bit too soon.
Swede's the guy they hope grows into a Roy Williams. And it's fourth down. And Dusty Mangum, who knocked a 44-yarder in, is going to try one from 52 yards. His career long is 51. Big kick on the way. And he got it. Wow. To go from missing extra points to hitting 52-yard field goals, that's something special. Dusty's one of the 22 seniors, and you know he's a happy guy right now. The senior out of Mesquite, Texas, stretching his career long, waiting and got it. And how does that make you feel playing your last game at home? Kind of like that.
Oh, boy.
Nice kick, Dusty. 19-13, Texas. As we take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. Reggie McNeil got things going with this touchdown pass to Mobley. Vince Young trying to get the ball over the goal line. It ended up being Jonte Buell on a jaunt 98 yards the other way late in the second quarter. But Texas came out in the third, blocked the punt, scooped it up, and scored it. They got a 1-point rouge, a 1-point safety on a blocked extra point. Don't ask me. That made it 13-13. And now a couple of field goals by Mangum has made it 19-13.
You talk about some weird things going on in this game.
This is like should be happening on Halloween, not Thanksgiving.
Exactly. Well, we've had 2 offensive touchdowns, 1 for each side. We've had a special teams touchdown and a defensive touchdown and a bunch of field goals, the longest of which was just Mangum's, whatever it was,
52 yards.
52, yeah.
Let's check in with New York. Craig James, Aaron Taylor, fellas.
Brad. Time now for Aaron's Pontiac game-changing performance of the week.
Thanks, CJ. Big rivalry game in the Southwest, but Wildcats Richard Kovalchuk, 47-yard strike to Mike Jefferson. Big, big play.
Put them up by 2 touchdowns. Now the score, Arizona 34-20 over Arizona State. Be a big upset, Brad. Hey, happy Thanksgiving to you guys.
All right, fellas, same to you. Wow, Mike Stoops' team, and I know his brother Bob, head coach at Oklahoma, is probably watching that one on one screen and this one on the other screen. And Coach Stoops hopefully is going to join us before this one's over, too, as we continue to talk to undefeated coaches and watch a once-beaten Longhorn team that's now in front at home with 1:22 to go in the third. Lewis brought down after a pickup of 3 or 4. Derek Johnson, the linebacker, made the stop along with Larry Dibbles. Derek Johnson in on another tackle. We've talked so much about that being Tommy Nobis's number. When I talked to Tommy this week, he said, you got to remember one thing. I don't even know what number I was when I was a freshman. He said, I think it was 85 because that's the number I wore in high school as a tight end. But he said Johnny Treadwell wore number 60 before I ever got to Texas. An undersized linebacker, an All-American, an academic All-American. He said he'd knock 2 or 3 guys out a season and knock himself out in the process. He said, it's not just my 60, it was Johnny's too. Here's a pitch. And one of the better runs of the day by Lewis.
Yes.
First down out at the 32-yard line.
A&M just needs to take their time. There's plenty of time in this ball game. You're only 6 points down. And the way this goes, this game's been going, you know, extra points are no givens.
Time permitting, stick around for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report. John, Craig, and Aaron will have scores and highlights from around the country as we watch the rangy linebacker, Derek Johnson. Man, can he cover ground.
I think he looks faster when he's got number 11.
He looks bigger.
He looks bigger,
he looks bigger with 60.
He looks bigger with 60, but he looks faster with 11.
McNeil, quarterback draw on first down. Not much room, none at all. Tim Crowder in on the tackle from his defensive end spot. And the quarter comes to a close. I don't think you want to miss the last 15 minutes of this one, do you? 19-13, Texas in front. Our presentation of college football continues after this message and a word from our ABC stations. You're watching ABC Sports, home of the Bowl Championship Series. Starting the fourth quarter in Austin, 19-13 Texas. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Lynn Swan with you. Darrell K. Royal, Texas Memorial Stadium.
Texas has always been good in the third quarter. Well, there you see it right there.
13-0. 13 unanswered points in that quarter.
And they've outscored them 92-3.
That's remarkable.
This year in the third quarter. So that's nothing new. And that just says that at halftime they make good adjustments and come out and do. And Mac Brown did a nice job of when they left here, the whole crowd was down. The 99-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown for A&M. Boy, you could have heard a pin drop in here.
You said the psychological job he'd have to do at halftime would be bigger than anything, and obviously that worked. As Swanee said, he stayed very calm, and when they blocked the punt, the whole momentum thing turned around again. 2nd and 10. Reggie had it batted at the line again. That is about the 3rd or 4th pass that either the front wall of the linebackers, this time again it's Larry Dibbles, knocks it down.
The defensive front of Dibbles and Wright, Crowder, and Robinson have been playing very well today. They have not gotten so many sacks because you're not going to sack this guy that often, but just contain him and keep him in this pocket and then get your hands up. Dibbles doing a nice job, getting some penetration and then getting your hand up.
A huge third down here early in the fourth quarter for the Aggies. Reggie McNeil throws short. Incomplete.
Pass intended for number 5, Terrence Murphy.
And it'll bring up 4th down.
Don't underestimate Coach Fran.
I just said 4th down. I didn't say punting time.
Yeah. Well, he's got a lot of. That guy is a good football coach, and the Big 12 South has just gotten better with Coach Francione's arrival here last year in the Texas A&M.
The last punt of Young's was only 26 yards, but it was going the other way. This time he'll have the wind. Texas doesn't appear to be putting that kind of pressure on him this time. He got away a nice kick. Longhorns are going to get out of the way. This is going to end up being a great punt because it takes an Aggie bounce, and the 12th man will be the guy that'll down it right there at the 10-yard line. 14:36 remaining. Texas has the ball and the lead in the fourth quarter when we come back. 14:36 remaining in the ball game. 19-13. Texas leading their rivals from College Station. And they've got the ball back, but it's not in a great spot for Mac Brown and his offense at its own 11-yard line. The core hoping for a comeback. Texas would just like to get a time-consuming drive going. Cedric Benson is already over 100 yards. He was over 100 in the first half. And let's see if he becomes the man. Young, play action. Throws on the run. Nice throw. And is it complete? Nope, he was bobbling it, they say, out of bounds. So we've talked to two coaches today that have unblemished records. We bring in another. Bob Stoops joins us from Norman, Oklahoma, head coach of the Sooners, who are number 2 in the BCS. And, Coach, thanks for being with us on this holiday weekend and happy day after Thanksgiving. What'd you do with your team this week with a week off?
Good to talk with you guys. We practiced Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and gave them Thursday, Friday, Saturday off. We'll regroup for more practice and start again on Sunday.
At this point, the Big 12 North has not been determined as Cedric Benson broke a couple tackles, got out to the 16-yard line. I know you probably watched Colorado today. You're probably watching your brother playing right now, and you're trying to watch this game.
I know it. Seems like every time I put on Arizona's game, they give up a play or something. So I haven't watched much of it. I'm kind of it's too much emotion there watching it.
Hey, Bob, you know, you were at the same junction last year, same spot, undefeated, going into the Big 12 championship game. What is different about this year? Are you handling anything different than last year?
Well, I think that has us on notice what all happened a year ago, and I think what the differences are, I believe overall we've been tested and we're stronger, having gone through some adversity. And I think the strength of our running game this year is much different than a year ago.
Adrian Peterson, definitely the equalizing force. Joey Thomas catches that ball. I know Swanee's got a question for you, Bob.
Yeah, Bob, we've asked this of Urban Meyer earlier and Tommy Tuberville. This season, when you're playing a football game, is it important how you win the game, style points?
Unfortunately, probably so. And what nobody can equate, they just look at scores. They don't realize the atmospheres you're in and maybe what you've overcome during the game and what the crowds in games are like. But unfortunately, there's probably some of that. I don't know how much. It's hard to gauge.
You know, I always think that sometimes even watching a game on TV, you don't get how big a game it is and what the feeling is. You watch a game in person and you win a tough one, whether it's against a cross-state rival or whatever, and you only win by a point or two, that's still a win, and it sometimes is bigger than a 20-point blowout against somebody else.
There's no question that, and sometimes those build your character and the strength of your team more as well.
Second down. I hope we didn't lose, Coach. There's second down and 3. And Vince Young on the option. And he's got some room, a lot of room. Young tripped out, but he got down to about the 35-yard line. You played these guys, Bob. This is their only loss of the season, 12-0. We did that one in the Red River Shootout. Let's say Texas wins this ball game, and I don't care if it's by 2 points or 22 points. Your opinion of Texas and their position in the BCS?
Definitely they're in a strong position and worthy of a team that, you know, I'm not going to say who should or shouldn't, but they're definitely worthy of a BCS game as well as a number of other teams. That's what this BCS has done. Everyone's talked about all the other scenarios. It's caused me to sit here and root for Texas. That's something nobody talks about.
Yeah, it makes strange bedfellows, doesn't it? It sure does.
I'll promise you, the last few weeks I found myself sitting there rooting like crazy for Texas, and I'll promise you, before, I don't know that that's ever happened.
Bob, last year there was 3 teams with 1 loss at the top. This year there could be 3 teams with no losses at the top. What are we going to do? How can it be better?
I don't know that it can, and then definitely if it ends up that way, it just wouldn't be right for whoever it is that isn't in it. And there isn't a good answer. I don't think outside of a playoff or a +1 game. But you don't want everyone to be complaining about the +1 game. What if there was only 2 teams undefeated at the end of the year? Then why would you need a +1 game?
Here goes Cedric Benson plus about 15. Another big run. You're the only guy that's kept this guy, your defense, Coach, under 100 yards. When he gets rolling, they're pretty good.
They are definitely a good football team, and playing that way today again.
A preference, Colorado or Iowa State next Saturday night in Kansas City.
That wouldn't be fair for me to say. Whoever it is has earned their right. Look forward to competing again and hopefully winning.
We know you've got one more game to watch, and that's tomorrow, Iowa State, Missouri. Coach, thanks for spending some time with us, and to you and the family, have a happy Thanksgiving weekend.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Thank you.
Bob Stoops, head coach of the Sooners of Oklahoma. Boy, we've had some pretty good coaches join us today.
We have, and they've all been undefeated, and they've all been upbeat, and they've all been off this weekend. That might be why they're upbeat.
Could be. Yeah. Got a little family time.
They're unbeaten and they're off.
That's not bad. That's a pretty good combination. This is a guy with only 1 loss, looking to go to 10-1, and then will that be good enough? Mac's not thinking about that right now. He's just thinking about, let's get another score here. We've got the ball inside the 10.
Although everything has gone his way since the second half started, this game is still a 6-point game.
They'd like to change it on 2nd down and 5 at the 8-yard line of the Aggies. Benson straight ahead. And Cedric puts his head down and got just to the 5. Chris Harrington made the stop. We're under 11 minutes. 141 yards for Cedric Benson, so he's getting much closer to his average, which is 159 and change as the number 2 rusher in the country.
And he's carried the ball 26 times, which is a load, but it's like my old broadcast partner Keith Jackson said, why not? It ain't heavy, and he don't belong to no union.
He will next year. 3rd down and short. Young. He got face masked. He had to. His head just about came off the swivel. Penalty markers down in the middle of the field, and you start worrying about just the health of Vince Young, not about the penalty. This is going to be an automatic 1st down and half the distance to the goal, but I guess he's all right. But he's going to check everything, as you're going to see one of those face masks that makes you cringe right here. Ouch.
Whoa.
That's
personal foul, grabbing the face mask on the defense. Penalties half the distance to the goal and an automatic 1st down.
Marcus Jasmine's a guy that quite possibly maybe reached out and wasn't planning on that, and he couldn't let go, but it was his little finger, believe it or not.
Those things, he didn't do that on purpose, but your hands are sticking out. You're reaching to grab somebody or something, and your little pinky gets in there, and you can't get it out.
Well, even though it's a pinky, that's a 307-pound pinky. That's not going to...
That means it's at least 45 pounds by itself.
Yeah, exactly. 1st and goal, Texas. Leading by 6, looking to add to it. Cedric Benson, right side, touchdown. Nope. Did he get there? I thought he was in, no signal.
Well, the line judge over here on this side did not give it to him.
And the cannon was as premature as I was.
Yes.
So it's going to be 2nd down. It looked like if he just fell forward, he would have made it, but somebody popped him right at about the 6-inch line.
You got to reload that cannon.
Yeah, they got to hurry.
Let me ask you this, as we watch the replay and see if he gets in or not, do you think Vince Young will try the quarterback sneak and stick the ball over the goal line?
I bet he didn't put it in the air.
No, he was in. You get that ball anywhere on that line, and you're in.
Now he's in. Touchdown, Texas. Well, those guys got to plug their ears again. There we go. They got to load those 2 10-gauge shells in that baby.
Or maybe they were just waiting to be sure.
Well, yeah, they could have. They were watching the linesman. And the Longhorns go in front 25-13. And that is number 64. Touchdown-wise for Cedric Benson. And that ties him with Anthony Thompson of Indiana. And only 2 guys, including the guy he idolizes, Ricky Williams, ahead of him. Extra point is up and good.
Well, good. We haven't made many of those.
No, we haven't. 26-13. And now the pressure on the Aggies. They need a couple of scores, and they've got only 9 minutes to do it. Cedric Benson probably got in twice. 26-13 Longhorns. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Nissan. Everything we touch, we shift. Everything we shift, we try to make better. Pacific Life, offering insurance, annuities, and investments. Pacific Life, the power to help you succeed. And the new Singular, raising the bar. Packed house in Austin, Texas. On a pretty day after Thanksgiving. It was about 71 degrees at kickoff. Bevo enjoying what he's seeing so far. And he enjoyed that 1-yard touchdown plunge by Cedric Benson. 64th time he's hit Pater, has given the Longhorns a 13-point lead. Richmond McGee to kick. Carter and Mobley wait on the other end for the Aggies. Taken by Carter at about the 6. Dancing around, weaving his way to the 17, and that's about it. 8 minutes and 54 seconds remaining in Austin, and the Longhorns in front. We've got a timeout. We'll be right back. With Bob Greasy and Lynn Swan, I'm Brad Nessler. Texas leading Texas A&M 26-13 on their home field. And now the Aggies come out as darkness falls over Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium at their own 18-yard line, and they need 2 scores in less than 9 minutes. Reggie McNeil comes up throwing. Got it out to Carter. Carter looking for a block from Terrence Murphy, and Murphy got him one. And reminder, time permitting, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report. The guys in New York will have scores and highlights from around the country. They move the sticks as A&M gets a first down and gets it out of bounds with 8:49 remaining.
This offense of A&M is the 12th ranked offense in the country. They're averaging 32 points a game. They use 4 and 5 wide receivers on a lot of their plays, so they can score some points.
Backfield empty again, except Reggie McNeil in the shotgun. Reggie's in trouble. Not going to get away this time. Crowder and Rod Wright wouldn't let him.
A Texas defense doing more containment than really all-out rushing. Watch Crowder over here on the right side. He's not going to put on a great move. They're just in control, right up the middle, flushes him, and then Crowder on the outside, number 80, gets the benefit of what Rod Wright did inside.
4th sack of Reggie McNeil today. Courtney Lewis now in motion. Texas looks like they're going to bring some pressure.
Delay.
And another flag.
Delay of game on the offense. Penalty of 5 yards. Still second down.
You know what happens, and that happens, been happening for 30, 40 years. When a quarterback gets sacked, the official gets the ball, throws it to the umpire, he gets it and marks it. The quarterback is just getting up, shaking himself off, talking to the wide receiver. What happened there? Why did you block that? Here comes the play, and by the time you get up there, you're out of time.
And then you're going, wow, it's 2nd and 27. And here they come again. Reggie's in trouble, swatted from behind, the ball is loose. Giger was the guy that came flying in there, and it's still Texas A&M football, so they almost lost one there. They're bringing the heat on Reggie McNeil right now.
Well, you're right. Giger comes from the outside, comes all the way around, unblocked, and does a nice thing in slapping the ball loose. See, quarterbacks can't see that guy when you come. That's why you got to know who's blocked and who isn't blocked.
3rd down and 28. And this crowd is rocking right now.
Timeout. Texas A&M.
Their second timeout. Down by 13. Important play coming up. They know it. With 7:16 to play. Well, if you've got a 3rd and 28 in your book, this is where you need it.
They only converted 1 of the first 6. This is their 7th. Don't count on it.
Here they come. McNeil gets rid of it. Completes it. All it does is get him a little more room to kick it, though. Riley made the catch. Cedric Griffin ran him out of bounds, and it is 4th down. So the Texas defense really done its job today. Remember that one of the touchdowns was on a 98-yard fumble return. So 4th down. Jacob Young has had 1 block today. You wouldn't think with a 13-point lead that Texas was going to try to bring any kind of pressure. But you're never sure if A&M is going to kick it or not. He will. That's a nice high kick. Taylor waits on it, takes it, and immediately is wrapped up, and he's going to lose yardage. A 49-yard kick in great coverage by Byron Jones.
Yeah, but he's not going to lose all that back there.
No, not that much.
Forward momentum.
But he lost about 3 yards probably after he caught it.
Yeah.
Bevo looking on. And there was a year, you know, when A&M beat Texas 13-0, and they kidnapped Bevo, and they branded 13-0 on him. So the folks finally got him back here in Austin, and they had to rebrand over the 13-0. And what better name than Bevo? There's where he got his name.
That's
cattle rustling.
That's a great story.
It's a great story unless you're the one getting branded.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just inside the 25. Cedric Benson broke 1 tackle, shoves another guy off, and runs out to the 30. Another 6-yard pickup. Appel made the stop. Nissan drive summary. The last
3 possessions
drives
of the second half. Field goal, touchdown. And that all speaks to the leadership and the coaching of Mac Brown. Because at halftime when they went in, they were lower than low. He got this team turned around, and they've come out here, and they've scored 13 points and shut out A&M.
Look at this run. This guy won't go down. He's running in the 4th quarter like he ran in the 1st. And he's helping his team, it looks like, to another victory over A&M, but there's still 6 minutes and change remaining.
This guy's been doing this here for 4 years, Brad. He's had 4 years of over 1,000 yards rushing. Got the ball a little bit loose there. He put it in the other hand and still held on.
That shows you how strong he is.
Yes.
They were trying to strip it in the left. He moved it to the right, and then put his left hand down to keep his balance. He's got 158 yards.
And Brad, Bob, he stays in bounds and allows Texas to do what they do best, run the football and eat up the clock.
Exactly. That's a near perfect run, that last one. He's got 2 or 3 more here, so he's over his average for the day. And the clock will wind down under the 5.5-minute mark.
The thing about he and
look at
him
this.
is,
look at this. Helping the guy.
Yeah. Yeah. There won't be any fights after this game, no. I don't think. The thing about Benson is his toughness. How many times he carried the ball now? He's carried it, what, 32 times? No, 31. 31 times. He's hard to bring down. Yards after contact. Can catch the ball. He's just been a great player for 4 years for Texas.
Here he comes again. Stiff arms, cuts outside, gets out 5 more yards to the 45 as we check in New York. Craig James with an update. Pony, what do you got?
All right, Brad, time now to vote for our singular player of the week. Cedric Benson having a good game. Here's another candidate for you. Marcus Randall, LSU quarterback, 2 touchdown passes, 2 running touchdowns today. To vote, text player to 6444 or go to ESPN.com, keyword singular. LSU smacked Arkansas 43-14. Brad.
So another good year for LSU. Coach Saban capped off. 3rd down, pitch, dangerous pitch. And This time, they won't get the first. Got back to the line of scrimmage.
Late flag.
The Longhorn faithful enjoying this right now. Here's a call. Personal foul on Texas. Will Matthews, the fullback, is the guy that it looked like they were pointing to.
After the play, a personal foul on number 37 of the offense. Put his hand in the mask, shove the player down. It's 4th down.
Right here.
Yep, there was that second one. It wasn't the block, it was the second one on Appel.
Yeah.
So it's not completely a love fest today. Nor do we expect it to be. But it's been a very clean ball game. Both ways. Two teams that respect each other and have played since the last century. 4th down at 18. And Texas set to punt. That front protection group adjusting itself a little bit. And they're letting as much clock go as possible. They may even take a timeout instead of punting it. And they do. So timeout taken by Texas as they used as much clock as possible. Texas trying to win this game, trying to impress the voters, the coaches, the AP writers, the computers. We talked with Mac Brown about all of that.
I would really like to see us relook at our objectives and try to start over with the BCS. I know why we did it. It's a great idea. I think that everyone involved with it wants to be good and wants it to be the best for college football. But right now, we have the worst system at the end of the year of any sporting group in the United States to try to determine a winner.
And of course, you're going to feel that way if you're number 5 of the BCS standings, brought to us by Allstate, because Texas could go 10-1 and get shut out again.
Yeah, and the reason they'll be shut out is because there's 2 wild cards. California would be 1 wild card, and Utah would be the other. There are 6 conference champions plus 2 at-large berths.
Don't let that USC 10-0 fool you. They not only have Notre Dame tomorrow night on ABC, they've got UCLA, their cross-city rival.
Exactly. That's why
also
I'm
on
saying
ABC.
There's a lot of football left to be played. Oklahoma has to win the Big 12 championship. Auburn has to win the SEC championship.
A lot of ball game left. Nice high run, fair catch called for and taken back at the 28-yard line by Murphy. We're under 4 minutes here in Austin. Aggies need a big comeback in a hurry. A relaxed Cedric Benson and Vince Young looking on, their team in front as we take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. Been some unique kicks in the ball game, but 2 that were good by Dusty Mangum, one of the seniors, a 44-yarder that gave Texas the lead, and then his career Longhorn long, a 52 that stretched that lead. You add that to Cedric Benson's 64th career rushing touchdown, and that's where we are, 26-13, with 3 minutes, 49 seconds remaining. And the Aggies now from their own 29. Crowd sensing a 10-win season here and a 5th straight win over their rivals from College Station. Here's a throw, incomplete. Intended for Mobley. And we'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
It'll be a good ball game tomorrow night in Los Angeles.
Yes, it will.
USC, Notre Dame, you mentioned USC had 10 wins. Notre Dame can beat USC out there on the coast. You know, a couple years ago, Carson Palmer had a big game.
Yep.
Went on, won the Heisman Trophy. You got Matt Leinart out there. You got Reggie Bush.
That's part of our lineup tomorrow. All games with BCS implications. It's amazing in the last regular season weekend. We can say that on all our games. McNeil in trouble. Had to wait till the very last instant and threw incomplete. To show you the games again, regional action that you'll see on ABC Sports tomorrow. Missouri, if Iowa State beats Missouri, Iowa State will be the Big 12 North champion and play Oklahoma next Saturday night in Kansas City. Virginia, Virginia Tech, Syracuse, and Boston College. That's ACC and Big East there. And then Notre Dame and USC, with USC the top team in the country.
Boston College looks like it's got the, well, it needs to win the Big East. If they don't win, it's a four-way tie, and Pittsburgh, of all people, may go.
Pittsburgh after beating West Virginia the other night. McNeil in trouble, trying to get rid of it. The ball is loose. Texas has scooped it up.
No, the official says it was a pass. Official called it a pass.
Ryan Robinson, the guy that was heading to the end zone, and it was Giger, I think, that knocked it out of there again. Giger got Reggie on the last drive. Here he comes again, number 22.
Yeah, well, they found something, a blitz, that A&M is not picking up. He said the official was right there, the referee.
Well, his arm was trying to move forward.
Was coming forward,
yep.
yeah.
That's a good call. So here's 4th down. This might be the last time the Aggies touch it if they don't come up with a first down. Texas has stopped them on downs twice already in the ball game. This one could help to ice it. They're going to bring the pressure. McNeil dances out of trouble, found a wide open receiver on the sideline. First down and more. Out to midfield and down to the 47-yard line.
Yeah. He was free, too.
24-yard pickup on 4th and 10. One they had to have, and Reggie hung in that pocket, and it's not easy to do when you've been sacked 5 times and knocked down about 15 other times. He hung in there and got it to Riley for a first down.
The defense, Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator, has been more active in the second half. More blitzes. They've found a couple blitzes that they can't pick up, and they've come with them a lot.
5 receivers. McNeil in the gun. Flush from the pocket again. Trying to pull up and throw, and he just can't get it. Pulled the trigger, that is. Aaron Harris stayed with him and made the stop.
That's the middle linebacker, Harris, that caught the quarterback.
So now it's 2nd down and a loss on the play. Officially the 6th sack, a season high. Texas only had 13 coming in. They've got 6 today. And Reggie McNeil's not the easiest guy to sack. Again, the blitz coming. Johnson's got it. They may want to just leave that Butkus trophy in his locker. They don't have to travel it.
Johnson, number 60. Now all you're seeing is him coming on the outside. The stuff that was happening inside, they had Robinson, a defensive lineman, standing up like a linebacker. They're messing with their minds is what they're doing.
3rd and 17. They're messing with the Aggie quarterback, that's for sure. Here they come again. Yeah. Down he goes again.
Yeah. Greg Robinson has hit on something, and it's confusing not only the offensive line, but the quarterback as well.
4th down and a mile. There's a lot of hook 'em horns in the building. It's 4th down. Maybe the last chance for the Aggies. McNeil lets fly. It's going to be intercepted. Terrell Brown with the interception, and that'll end Aggie hopes right there. A big win in the next minute, 20 seconds coming up for Texas, but don't short those guys on that sideline in the maroon. What a job they've done from coming from 4-8 a year ago to what will be a 7-4 this year.
They've had a great year. Coach Francione has done a great job.
Played 3 overtime games, won 2 of them. Played a tough game against Oklahoma. Lost to Baylor in overtime. And they're going to lose to Texas for the 5th straight year. Young takes a knee. This 13-point game won't be affected by the play earlier in the ball game, but in case you missed it, one of the wilder things that we've ever seen. And between the guys in the truck and the guys up in this booth, we've probably seen 10,000 football games. There was the kick.
Attempted extra point.
It goes through. It's picked up by an A&M player trying to advance it, and then he fumbles it back into the end zone. They call it a 1-point safety. And the rule, number 831, in the college football etiquette, on a 2-point try attempt, Team A is fumbled, recovered by Team B. Can't be advanced or it would be a 1-point safety. I'm going to tell you the problem I have with that. That was not a 2-point extra point attempt. I believe that the referee feels that the kicker never touched the ball. That's only a guess on my part, but that wasn't a 2-point try.
It was not a 2-point try. It was a 1-point kick, but the referee thought that the kicker just swung his leg and the holder probably shuffled the ball forward to try to get it a 2-point conversion.
Swanee's going to argue with us.
Guys, that's why you have me down here on the sideline. The official knew the ball was kicked. The ball was kicked. 1-point conversion try. But once a defensive player picked it up and tried to advance it, it became a 2-point conversion try.
The other way.
The other way.
The other way.
Now it's a 2-point conversion try. And the fact that he has stopped in the end zone, tackled in the end zone, means it's a 1-point safety on a 2-point conversion try. The negation of the 1-point conversion comes when he tried to pick it up and advance it.
I'll tell you one thing. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing this, but I can retire before I'll see another one of those. Our Chevrolet players of the game today in the final minute. What a game by Cedric Benson again this afternoon. Over his average. Jackson Appel did all he could. He was involved with several tackles in that A&M defense, but it wasn't going to be enough. Texas with a 3rd down, won't matter. The clock winding down, and they'll be able to take another knee. Mike Locker's our stage manager, our scoreboard operator, scorebug operators, Paul Barnes, my spotters, Clint Deans, Pat McGrath, our statistician, Anthony Holman, our computer statistician. Technical director, Kevin Bierman. Directed by Calvin Haywood. Our studio show produced by Tim Weinkoff. Joe Caracone is our technical manager. Jenny McIver, our production manager. Tom Wicks and Julie Norman, our production assistants. Dick Ellis, our associate director. Matt Marvin, our associate producer. Technical director Brad Rowe. Patrick McManus directed our ball game. Produced by Bruce Clark. Coordinating producer of college football is Bob Goodrich. Our senior producer Bob Toms. Executive producer of ABC Sports is Mike Burrow. The president of ABC Sports and ESPN is Jordan Bodenheimer. The 111th meeting of Texas and Texas A&M goes the Longhorns' way, 26-13. Was it good enough for the pollsters? Was it good enough for the computers? Mac Brown and his team at 10-1 now can only sit back and wait and hear about that in the next couple of days. Let's go down to Swanee.
Well, Coach, there are a lot of important decisions you had to make, your team had to make from a coaching standpoint. Maybe the most was getting your team mentally prepared to come back out for the second half of this football game.
Lynn, that might have been the most freakish play to change momentum right before the half I've ever seen. We have the best drive of the day. Vince is trying to compete. We did mess up and didn't keep our timeouts for him. It wasn't his fault. And then for the ball to pop out, them pick it up, they make a great play. But I'm so proud of this team. For them to change at halftime, get mentally prepared again to come back out and dominate the second half. It's just the way this team's played all year.
Now, I know your fans are waiting to hear everybody sing the school song, but it's another 10-win season. Great way to send out your seniors. Cedric Benson has another ball game. Derek played unbelievably. 10 wins. Is it going to be enough to get you where you want to be at the end of the season in this BCS system?
If being 5th in the BCS last year didn't get us in, and if being 5th with 10 wins in the BCS this year, we need to change the system because the system's not fair for the best teams in America.
Well said. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you very much.
Quite a ball game. Well said. Coach is going to get wet right there. 26-13, 10-1, 7-1 in the Big 12 Conference, and just one game short of being a champion in the South. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Search ABC Sports. Be sure to join us tomorrow. A lot of great college football action, regional action at 1, and then you'll see primetime #1 USC against Notre Dame, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Quite a ball game. The Lone Star Showdown goes to the Longhorns, 26-13. That's going to wrap it up from Austin. For Bob Greasy and Lynn Swan, I'm Brad Nessler saying so long from Austin, Texas. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports Championship Television.